And good morning. I'm Ileana Smith, and I'm delighted to begin this conference. You know, I see a room full of good friends. I know it's good friends, and I know it's people who care about Sussex County, they care about our state, and I think it's people who understand that the way to get things done is by working together. Raise your hand if this is your first conference. Wow, quite a few of you. Well, you may not know the gong yet, but I can tell you that we start on time, we end on time, and we're definitely going to work you in between. We want to engage you in thinking, we want to engage you in speaking with each other, and most importantly, we want to motivate you to act for the well-being of our county. I am honored to introduce our elected and our appointed officials this morning who are present. So I'd like you to please hold your applause until I get all our Sussex County legislators standing. Senators Ernie Lopez, Gary Simpson, Bob Venables, Representatives John Atkins, Ruth Briggs King, Tim Dukes, Ron Gray, Harvey Kenton, Danny Short, Steve Smick, and Dave Wilson. Let's give them a round of applause. And let me get our county government standing as a group. Council President Mike Vincent, Councilman Sam Wilson, Councilwoman Joan Deaver, not yet, okay, and County Administrator Todd Lawson. We also have present Lewis Mayor Ted Becker, Dagsboro Mayor Brad Connor, and USDA Director for Delaware and Maryland, Dr. Bill McGowan. Stand and be recognized. And I'm very pleased to recognize a Delaware Tech trustee who's present, Sue Saliba, with her husband Anise. Sue and Anise are also members of the college's Development Council and Legacy Society, and I'd like to introduce those groups and thank them for their support of your community college. Delaware Tech Legacy Society members Philip Bills, Lynn Fawcett, Joe Hudson. Thank you. You all don't want to stand. We'll applaud you anyway. And I'd like to thank the college's Development Council members who are here, in addition to the ones I mentioned, Pat Campbell-White, Stell Parker-Selby, Rob Ryder, Bill Sanda, Mike South, Cindy Zabo, Connie Wirtz, and Leighton Wheeler. Are you going to stand? No? All right. So let us now begin our program by focusing on our great county with remarks from our County Council President, Mike Vincent.
Thank you, Ileana. Don't gong me, I'm going to be quick. Welcome. Glad to see everybody here. It's a great day. This is today and tomorrow conference. It's not what happened yesterday or last week. We're going to move forward. It's an opportunity. I think every day we get up, we have an opportunity. Some are better than others. There's some days on council we have opportunities. I wonder what they really are. But anyway, on behalf of the county, it's great to be here. Thank Ileana and her team for putting this together. It's great to work with her. Looking forward to work with Mark down the road. It's a great relationship we have with the county and Del Tech. Great people to work with. So do all you can to work with them. They'll be a great help to you. I'm not going to say a whole lot more. I had a short conference yesterday with Todd, our county administrator, and he was going to practice his talk. And I said, yeah, I think I'm going to go home and probably practice my welcome thing, And he said, well, Mike, he said, look at that list. He said, there's business owners and executive directors and county administrators and veterinarians and superintendents. He said, there's probably not one person in that room came to hear you say welcome. So I know he's right. So having said that, we're glad you're all here. Enjoy your conference, and please take something from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I don't think I can jump the way he jumped up here. Thank you. And it is now my pleasure to formally introduce our college president, Dr. Mark Brainard, who became the 5th president of Delaware Technical Community College in August. First of all, Dr. Brainard is extremely proud to be a Delaware Tech graduate himself. He continued his education earning a bachelor's degree from Wilmington University and a law degree from Widener School of Law. Dr. Brainard began his career in public service, working for the Delaware General Assembly, and later was appointed as the Director of External Affairs at the State Department of Transportation. After law school in 1994, he came to Delaware Tech as the Assistant Vice President for Personnel and Legal Affairs. He then served as Executive Vice President at the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce, and later as Chief of Staff for Governor Ruth Ann Minner. In 2008, he returned to Delaware Tech as Assistant Campus Director for the Stanton-Wilmington campus and was appointed Vice President and Campus Director for that campus in 2011. Mark became Executive Vice President of the college in 2013 and President in August. And I can tell you that he is totally focused on something very dear to this conference, and that's preparing Delaware's workforce. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here this morning. A number of friends have already come up and asked me, how's it been going? And I said, anytime you can start your day in a room like this at the Owens campus, you have a great job. So it's always great to be here. One of my other friends at this table said, now you are going to be brief this morning, aren't you? And I said, well, yeah, but there's a couple things I need to update you on. So good morning, and again, welcome to the Owens campus of Delaware Tech. I'm honored to step into this leadership role of such an exceptional organization, one that's been part of Delaware's communities for almost 50 years. And Delaware Tech has been an institution with a history of having close working partnerships, collaboration, and always depended on those close working relationships, not only for the success of our college, but the success of our students. And that's why we're here today. We're going to celebrate the close collaboration we have with business and industry, government, as well as higher education. It's great to see so many of those partners in the room as well. So I need to thank the planning committee for this conference. I also want to thank Dr. Ileana Smith and the entire team here at the Owens campus. When you hear the word great event, I hope you think of Ileana and her team here, because they do always organize and help present the best face for this campus every time they have an event here. Thank you to our speakers and our panelists. We want to thank you for sharing your expertise and your time and your energy today. Also, obviously, we want to thank every single person who's in attendance. You're showing your deep commitment to the future of Sussex County by being here. Delaware Tech's also committed to creating greater opportunities for Sussex County and its residents. And we're proud to be part of this conference every year because it gives us an opportunity to highlight exactly what we're doing in fulfilling our mission. And our mission is to provide a high-quality workforce for business and industry. Let me share, in that spirit, let me share with you a couple of things that we've done since last year in the area of workforce development. You might remember that at last year's conference, you heard that the college was planning to accelerate 2 programs right here at the Owens campus that would more quickly connect Delawareans with high-quality jobs. and we did just that. In January, we began offering an accelerated version of our nursing program, and you all know how important that is to our healthcare industry. And this fall, with the approval of the FAA, we expanded our aviation maintenance program to include power plant, which teaches our students to maintain and repair the aircraft engine. Offering both airframe and power plant maintenance, it gives our graduates a competitive advantage when they go for employment opportunities to companies that need those skills. This program, again, would not have been possible without our partners. Several key partners, Sussex County Council, the U.S. Department of Labor, a private donor right here from Sussex County, and DITO, who provided us with a grant to help accelerate and double the size of the program. Ken, tell the Secretary Levin, thank you again for his ongoing support. Many of you in the room also know of the critical need for paramedics, not only in Sussex County, but in every county in this state. Delaware Tech has a nationally certified paramedic program that's housed at the Terry campus in Dover. And thanks to the support of Governor Markell and his administration, we doubled the size of that program as well. And in response to that demand, we have 30 Sussex County residents currently enrolled in that program at the Terry campus. So again, the college is listening, the college is responding, and we're meeting those high quality demands for jobs. Finally, in the area of entrepreneurship, we're very excited here at the college that we're helping to create an entrepreneurial climate in the state of Delaware. As many of you know, the college already offers a 2-year degree program in entrepreneurship as part of our business administration program. But we've also partnered again with DITO and the Kauffman Institute, the nation's premier provider of entrepreneurial courses, to offer the Kauffman's Fast Track program. This 30-hour intense course helps entrepreneurs launch or grow a business. And DITO is underwriting the cost so that students can get this tuition at a very, very low price, and we're providing access to the small business community for this critical training. In addition to becoming a Fast Track affiliate, at last year's conference you also heard that the Owens campus is a host site for Kauffman's Million Cups initiative, which engages local entrepreneurs every Wednesday morning in more than 60 communities across the nation. I believe it's international now, right, Chris? Yeah, okay, across the world. I'm pleased to share that also at the Wilmington campus, we've started 1 Million Cups, and Terry campus will soon join in. So Delaware Tech has a statewide network for entrepreneurs to meet every week as well. And in a few minutes, you're going to see a great video that captures the success of some of the stories here that were told at the Owens campus. And you'll also have the opportunity to hear from 2 entrepreneurs just this morning as part of the 1 Million Cups initiative. So again, I was brief, Senator. In closing, we want to thank again our partners, our public and private partners who have supported our programs. We are going to continue to stay focused. The entire Delaware Tech team will continue to stay focused on connecting Delawareans with high-quality jobs, which is what's going to get this economy moving again. My thanks to each and every one of you for your attendance today. I know that your time will be well spent as you work together to find ways to not only strengthen the economy of Sussex County, but the entire state of Delaware. Thank you very much.
I didn't gong you. I wouldn't gong you. Let me now draw your attention to the conference sponsors. They're listed on our banners, on our website, and in your workbooks. And I believe that they're real evidence of our county's collaborative spirit. I know you're not standing when I call on you, but would you please, if you're part of any of those sponsoring groups, would you stand so we can say thank you? You don't listen. My goodness, can we thank them anyway? And another impressive example of collaboration is the conference planning team. My fellow conference planners and their organizations are listed again in your workbook. They're dedicated, talented individuals. Maybe they won't stand either, but I do want you to know that they work year-round to plan this conference, and they deserve our gratitude. Thank you, gang. And I have to thank the Owens campus staff. I know at the end we get so wound up that I don't have time to do it, but they do all the preparations and technical support. Our wizard over here, Jesse Davis, Jackie Berger, everyone. Guys, we couldn't do it without you. We're really grateful for you. And then I want to point out one important fact, that there's a ticket in your portfolio. It's in the left. When you open it, it's kind of hidden in one of those little pockets. And I got to tell you, don't lose that. The corresponding tickets with those same numbers are in that bowl over here. And we're going to draw a lucky winner later who will win an iPad. So more about that one later. All right. Our county conference has stood the test of time, 21 years. Why? Why has it lasted that long? Well, I believe it's because of the spirit in this room, one of trust, one of hope, where friends come together to think, to learn, and to grow possibilities using the power of our interdependent connections. Today's fast-paced agenda will inform your thinking, it'll give you ideas for the future, and open up possibilities for connections. And as I stress every year, it will be up to each of us, as individuals and organizations, to act on the information. Each year, we choose a lens through which we look at the county. The lens we look through is the topic for the conference. And it is your feedback that informs what that timely and important topic should be. As you know, this year's topic is selling. We wanted to see how Sussex County sells. And that translates to how we, as organizations and individuals, sell. You might say, well, I don't sell. Well, we think differently. We all sell. The degree to which we understand it and the degree to which we embrace it may be different. There's a lot we can learn here today. The learning can be applied to things as varied as selling cars, selling the county, selling video games, selling education, or selling ourselves. Our language around selling is interesting. Selling is many times hidden in the word marketing. Well, no hiding today. We are celebrating selling. Learn from our fantastic presenters. Think about how they sell, about how important selling is to them. Listen for what makes their selling effective, and learn how selling is viewed by the employees of their organizations. Look for common themes and apply that learning to yourselves and your organizations. We challenge each of us to think, and we challenge us to act. That's how we can impact Sussex County's future. Well, it's not 9 o'clock yet, but today it's 1 million cup time. So for the next 35 minutes, we will participate in an exciting and very powerful national movement. Let me call on the college's 1 million cup organizer, Corporate and Community Programs Director, Chris Moody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Delaware. Normally when I start 1 Million Cups, I talk about it from a national perspective. However, today I'm going to share a little bit about 1 Million Cups and how it relates to Sussex County. So I've taken my 5 to 10 minute overview and condensed it down to a very brief 2-minute video. So please turn your attention to the video screens. Thank you. Now that you know a little bit more about 1 Million Cups Delaware, please welcome our first presenter, Jack Barbarian from Delmarva VoIP. Jack?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I thank the college for inviting us to this great event. I have some slide presentations here for you. Let's see if I can work this properly. Here we go. So, I was speaking with a friend of mine yesterday about this event, and his advice to me was, don't sound stupid. So, I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. So, who is Delmarva VoIP, and what is VoIP? In a nutshell, Delmarva VoIP is a federally registered phone company that delivers telephone services directly to your business. We're also a group of local technology specialists ready to help you with all your phone and computer needs. So what is voice over IP? It's voice over internet protocol. And what we do is we deliver phone service directly through the data connection you're already paying for. So if you have Comcast or Verizon, we deliver phone service directly through that data connection to specialized phones. What is the difference between VoIP and traditional phone lines? The biggest thing for you is your phone bill. We save customers an average of 44% on their phone bill. The other difference is, as your business grows and shrinks, our service will expand and contract with you. So if you have a seasonal business, you're paying more for phone lines during your slow season than you are at your high season. One location to multiple locations. What do? We take all of the traffic that's coming in through those phone lines, and we put it on one piece of software, so you can see how many calls are coming in, where they're coming in from, how long your customers are on hold, or how long your patients are on hold, how many customers are you losing, how effective is the marketing campaign that you're putting on, is the billboard working or the coupon advertisements working. A lot of the traffic that comes into your business right now, you're missing out on analyzing that data and turning that into money. So that's what we do. What else do we do? Networking, consulting, cabling, hardware, and we serve businesses. We recently launched DelmarvaRepair.com, which is consumer-driven products and services from iPad repair to iPhone repair and other accessories. We opened up a retail store in Lewis, and we're building another one on State Street right next to Bay Health. So how did we get started? I got started by finding a great partner in my backyard, having a tall glass of whiskey. So go out and support your local bar. And make sure you find someone that's completely opposite from you, similar to your wife. So find a core team of people you can trust. You need that core team because if you don't have a team of people you can trust, it's going to be very difficult to grow. You have to delegate to them, and you have to trust that they're going to get the job done. And there's a lot of great people in this county. We saw a need in the industry to analyze that phone data, that employee productivity, that marketing ROI, and a lot of other metrics that we provide in that software. So if you want to know who your productive employees are, you want to know who your lazy employees are, contact us at Delmarva VoIP. We also found a great local designer. He's been with us since we started. He's in Lewis. We found great marketing companies, and we follow through on our promises to our customers, even if we have to lose from time to time. We live in a small community, so news travels fast, I'm sure, as you know. Next is community involvement. Get out, join your local chamber, get involved in networking activities, talk to Dito. Melody's been great to us, very instrumental in our growth. And we give back to the community. So when you start, you don't really have a lot of revenue, but we have been giving back to 12 to 15 charitable organizations since we opened our doors. I've been doing that here. I did that in California. It's very important to give back to your community. It's how we're all going to grow. And most importantly is we met a lot of locally responsible CEOs and business owners who decided to partner with local companies. Not everybody's doing that these days, but that's how we all grow, and that's how we target the services that we purchase. We try to go locally first, so please keep that in mind. And I want to thank all of the local CEOs and business owners that I see here that are our customers today. Lessons learned. This could take a few months, but trust your instincts, but do your homework. Sometimes you have a great idea. What you want to do is you want to go out and research that idea. Go online, go to Google, go to Bing, whatever search engine you use, and make sure you figure out what's going on in the industry. How is it being priced? What is the marketing material? Before you kind of move on your urge to launch a new product or open a new business, make sure you go out there and you do your homework. If you can hire a consultant, that's great. If you can't, make sure you study all that data and don't reinvent the wheel. If you're launching a product, go out and see what other people are doing. Look at their marketing material. Build on top of that and make it your own. Vertical markets, what do I mean by that? So Delmarva VoIP is a business-to-business company, and so we're marketing to businesses. So some of the largest pizza chains on the Delmarva Peninsula, the largest furniture stores, we have the hospitals in the area, and a number of other businesses that you call on a day-to-day basis. We actually deliver that phone service directly to them and analyze that data for them. So Delmarva VoIP is business to business. Our sister company is SecureNet MD, and that markets directly to healthcare and medical organizations. We have DelmarvaRepair.com that markets to consumers. We have ThinkIDcards.com that markets to people who need ID badges. So try not to start a company and put everything into one bubble. Try to verticalize and go after niche markets. It'll be a lot easier for you, and people will listen to you. Advertise. One of the biggest mistakes is opening up a company and not advertising. Just because you have a good idea or a good product doesn't mean that people are going to come running in the door. So get out, advertise, try to get some free airtime on the radio, get in your local papers, and get to those networking events. Use your existing network of family and friends. Go out, ask them for money, ask them for advice. They're going to be brutally honest. They're going to tell you if you have a good idea or if it's not such a good idea. So it's a good platform to start from, and don't be shy to go out there and ask them. One of the biggest things I learned over the years is don't allow more than 10% of your income to come from any one account. The reason for that is you end up getting a large Goliath account. You end up buying vans and getting more rental space and hiring a bunch of employees and increasing your overhead. And once that account is gone, and one day it will be gone, you will collapse. So if you control that to 10% of your income, if you lose that account, you're still going to survive. And anyways, those large accounts are going to ask for discounts every year, right? So, all right. So selling, everything begins with customer service. So the beginning and ending of everything for our businesses boils down to customer service. Do a good job, follow through on what you say you're going to do, and you will be successful. At our companies, we basically use the 95% rule. We tell our staff 95% of what you do on a day-to-day basis is going to go pretty smoothly. Everything's going to go as expected. That 5%, you need to have a written process in place to address those people who maybe have an order that slipped through the cracks, maybe want to complain about their bill, or it's always going to be something. You're not going to make every single person happy. But how you deal with that 5% is going to make a big difference on how you grow, especially in a small community like ours. Don't forget who pays the bills. Sometimes as you grow, you forget who the customer is and how important they are. They are the sole decision maker on whether or not you get a check that's coming in the door. So don't forget that, and make sure you always recognize your customers first. Send out a thank you note every year. It doesn't take much, but it makes a big difference. Instead of sending out an email, take the time to write a note, send a thank you letter. It'll go a long way. And don't be a stranger. Recognize those people that helped you get started. Go out and thank them. Go out and show your face, and make sure they recognize. I got a red light here. It means I'm going to get tackled. Hang on. Okay, or gonged.
We'll gong you.
Okay. So family of companies, I'll wrap it up here. So these are some of the companies that we have. We have about 3 more companies launching next year. Are all of them huge multi-million-dollar ventures? They're not, but they're all growing companies, and we're trying to create more jobs in the state of Delaware. I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and I want to leave you with this thought. We attribute all of our success to great employees and loyal customers like you. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming out, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Now we have just a few minutes for any questions or any comments from the audience. So if you have a question or a comment, please raise your hand, and someone with a microphone will walk around and let you ask your question or comment.
Fantastic. I get to
Oh,
leave.
there has to be at least one question. There's a question over to the right.
What brought you to Delaware?
Oh, my goodness. My wife is here, so yes. I came to Delaware. I was in the incorporations business, and I came to Delaware to take over a family-owned business at that time. So my wife and I moved here, and we came here from Los Angeles, and we helped grow that company. And from there, we started Medtix and SecureNet MD and Delmarva VoIP. We've had 4 kids since then, and we love the area. We got stuck, and we love it.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll pay you if you don't ask a question.
Rob has a question.
So what are your thoughts on the high-speed internet initiative that's going on? How's that going to help your businesses and the community?
I think if we could get a faster connection to all of the homes and businesses in the area, I think it's going to help everybody. Right now, there is a number of companies that are suffering from poor connectivity, or they just can't get the speed to do the things that they need to do online, or that it's not reliable enough. And with physicians going to electronic health records and everything pretty much going online, it's so critical to have that dependable connection. And so for all the business leaders that are here and anybody from government, the more speed you can bring to the state, the better off we're all going to be.
Yes, you just talk about digital and voice over internet, and we were immersed today in information, tons of it coming from every different direction. A lot of concern, of course, about how much information gets out and where and when. Tell us about, with voice over internet protocol, how do you manage information and concerns about, well, maybe I didn't want that information to go to that direction, maybe I didn't want all that to be analyzed?
All of our data is on a secure socket layer. It's all encrypted, even at rest. So our customers have access to portals that they can get to, and that access is they give to their team members. So we basically give a username and password to the owner, and from there they distribute the access to their employees. Everything is encrypted and protected, so nothing's really getting out. And all we're really doing is collecting the information that's coming in. We're not disseminating it to anybody. We don't sell any of our customers' data. It's been sort of a staple in every single company I've been at. So I hope I answered your question.
There's a question over here.
We have about 3 or maybe 4 broadband companies trying to come to Sussex County. What's your response to that, and how will it help you?
I'm not biased to any one single company. I think it's important for any of those companies that are going to come into the state to make sure that they keep their word. So when they tell consumers and when they tell businesses that they're going to provide a reliable internet connection, we need to hold them to that. You would do the same for any service that you pay for, and local government here needs to make sure that those providers actually provide a reliable internet connection to those businesses that are paying full price for that service. So my hat's off to any company that wants to come into the state. I think it creates more jobs, it'll bring more speed, create more competition, so I'm excited about that.
Any other questions or comments?
I have one. So thinking economically, when I think of business and business structure, I'm thinking sustainability retention. Once you're started, you're staying there. I'm thinking of profitability, so I'm tracking my assets, if you will. And I'm thinking of job creation. I'm looking at your slides and I'm seeing some visionary move, some expansion. Talk a little bit about the people who are working with you. I hear a lot of we. Who are the we's?
So the we's, we have one of our team members here, Casey's here. She runs our sales division. So without sales, we can't grow. My partner is Drew LaRoche. He has been with me since day one. Somebody I can count on. I'm sort of the go, 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 buy, and he's sort of the wait, let's analyze for a couple of weeks, so we meet in the middle somewhere. We also have a great team of individuals that have pretty much helped us get off the ground. They've been with us since day one. They're an integral part of our company, and we recognize that in our team, and that's what it's all about. If you don't have a good team, if you don't have the we, if you're not saying we, you definitely have a problem. So what is that they say? There's no I in team. So that's what we believe. And, we continue to grow these niche markets because we want to continue to grow, and we do want to create more jobs.
Jack, in closing,
Thank you.
what can we do as a community to support you and help you grow?
Take out your checkbooks. Go to delmarvavoip.com. If you have a business and you want to save some money and you want to analyze that data, give us a call. I see a lot of businesses that are already our customers in the room. We can provide you with references. Go to our new website, delmarvarepair.com. Look at the services that are on there. And don't just buy local from us. Buy local from everybody. It helps everybody. It all goes around. It all comes back to us individually.
Great. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, our next presenter is Brian Simon with Bryce Eye.
Come on, let's go! Boom! That's a headshot, son. I'm a Call of Duty pro. Come and get some. Turn your volume up and sing it with me. We're playing COD, Modern Warfare.
I too had a little bit of advice given to me this morning by Representative Dukes, who I call Uncle Tim. He said, "Don't be boring." So I think I started it off there with something not boring. So how many of you have ever played a video game before? Raise your hand, that's okay. Some of you are actually probably playing solitaire on your iPhone right now maybe, so you get a free pass. But 20 years ago, my mom told me that I should put down the controller and go outside and stop playing video games. They're going to rot your brain. And but today, I make my living playing video games from the comfort of my own home, which makes a lot of my friends jealous. They have to go to work, and I go downstairs and sit in the recliner and play video games. But a question I get asked a lot is, well, how in the world did you do that? I mean, how does that become a thing where I can do it? I think I have the funnest job here. When I'm done here, I'm going to go home and play some Call of Duty. But basically, how it started was about 7 years ago. I bought a video game and became addicted to it, and I also played music at the time. So one day I was just browsing the internet and came across a website where a guy had wrote a song about one of his favorite games. I thought, I could do that. I can handle that. So I picked up my guitar and wrote a little song about this game called Halo, and wasn't really expecting anything to happen except maybe my wife called me a nerd or something. So I wrote a song, uploaded it to YouTube, and the next day I saw that it had 20,000 views, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, 20,000 views. I mean, I'm a big deal now. 20,000 people saw this video. And the developers of the game took it and put it on their website, and kind of grew from there. A lot of people kept asking for more songs, so I kept doing it, and then I moved into rap, which is just, kind of blew up. So going from nothing to now I have 450,000 subscribers that watch my content. Over 100 million views. So that's what I do. I just write songs about video games, and I play video games, and it's awesome. I don't know what else. Jack's up here talking about all this, serious stuff he does, and I play video games. And another question I get asked is, well, how do you make money doing that? Well, YouTube is owned by Google, and it's all ad revenue. You know, you've probably seen videos posted on Facebook of, look at this cute cat doing something awesome, and then you watch it, and there's maybe a little ad there. Well, every time somebody views that video, you get paid a fraction of a cent. But when you think about, 100 million views, that's, can add up quite quickly. My biggest video has 10 million views or something, and just, I'm probably not even supposed to talk about this, but I mean, it's over $10,000 I made on that one video. And I was telling the fine folks at my table today, there's 14 and 15-year-olds making $100,000 a year from their bedroom playing video games, all because of Google and advertising. And there's people that pay you to promote their product, and it's kind of the same way with video games. So I get to incorporate music and entertainment and playing games as a career. YouTube is kind of a big deal. It's got 1 billion unique visitors each month. Every minute there is 100 hours of video uploaded, mostly cats. YouTube reaches more U.S. adults between the age range of 18 and 34 than cable, which that's the big bracket that advertisers are looking for. And as I said previously, there's thousands of people making over 6 figures by playing video games, by showing how to do crafts, cooking. There's a lot of politicians in here. You can get on there and talk about politics and do video blogs. Fashion. There's pretty much a niche for everyone. So whatever you're interested in, there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of people out there that are interested in the same exact thing. And you have the ability to also, find money on the internet, which is kind of neat. Other than YouTube, there is, because my content is, mostly songs and whatever, there's iTunes, there's Amazon, there's Google Play. I really hate to sound like I'm bragging, because I'm just so fortunate to have found this weird little niche, and every day I wake up and think, is this real life? Am I really doing this? But I've with over 100 million views, close to 500,000 song downloads on iTunes, which that's Kanye West, and if anybody, that's like not Elvis Presley numbers, like 500,000. Wow. But also through hats and T-shirt sales, there's that market. I've shipped hats to Australia and everywhere else across the world. Just because kids get home and they have a Xbox or a PlayStation, they sit down and they play video games, and there's a market there. Whenever you have mixed video games and music together, that you can relate to people. So YouTube is fantastic. I've been on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno because of it. Spike TV came to my house and we recorded a music video. And I've just had so many neat opportunities because of this. And the ability is there to make money from the comfort of your own home if you choose to do so. And also because of social media, you can promote your actual physical business through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and online communities such as Reddit and whatever else. So if you have any questions, I'd love to share whatever small bit of knowledge I have to help you expand your business online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just real quick before we go to the questions and comments, about, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when we first started thinking about presenters for today, we were in a room, and I think Ileana said, have you heard about the guy who's from Laurel who raps? And I was like, no. So she said, we got to get him here. And I was like, okay. So, for a couple of months, I was Googling Brian, Google guy from Laurel who raps, and finally found out somehow somebody got his cell phone, so I just called him out of the blue and said, hey, I'm Chris Moody from Delaware Tech. So I think I kind of stalked him for a little while, and I think he thought I wanted to play video games with him.
I just want to say I am thankful that it took you a long time to find my contact information.
It did.
Because sometimes kids find it and they call me at 2 in the morning. Is this Bryce? Is this you? I'm like, yes. So I'm thankful that I'm difficult to find.
Yeah. So that was fun doing that. Okay, now it's time. We have a few minutes for any questions or comments from the audience. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and someone will be around.
So we're kind of working on our YouTube campaigns now. How's the best way you found to increase your viewership as far as, bringing extra viewers to your YouTube channel?
I guess really the main thing is to be consistent, to constantly stay in the feeds, in the Facebook feed or in the subscription feed on YouTube. Consistency seems like it's very important. There's people that as a musician, I feel like I really try to make everything I do really good. Like I want it to sound really good, but it almost seems like that's taken the back seat almost, and just being in people's faces more, even though your project might not be 100% polished, staying in people's faces more, with just little updates. I also I have a picnic table business that I sell picnic tables at a Laurel, and I found that I don't know, that's what I do.
He's going to present on that too.
Yeah. Delmarva picnic tables. I found that, even if I don't have anything new or, just uploading a picture of a picnic table I built before, or, uploading a video or posting a video that I maybe did a year ago that this just hit 1 million views. Staying in people's sight is, key to being remembered.
Any other questions or comments? Right here. Here comes the mic.
What's the lifespan of the product that you're producing, and how do you actually make a determination, if you do, to terminate it?
Well, it never really terminates, I don't think. I've got videos that have been up for, for 3 or 4 years, and they're still getting consistent views because YouTube's algorithm, recommends videos according to what the person's watching. So, and really, video games is a great thing because there's always a new video game coming out. Next month there's 2 really popular games coming out. So as long as I'm excited about doing it, will always be fresh content. Now, I'm getting a little older and stuff. My reflexes aren't as fast anymore, so they might say that I'm not as good as I used to be. But there's always going to be fresh content, and it just keeps living. And I guess as long as YouTube and Google are around, it'll be on there, and people will be watching, I guess.
Any other questions or comments?
Question. So Brian, what is the long-term goal here? I'm kind of following suit with Michael that as I stand and observe the audience, very few questions to this audience. So your primary market is?
The primary market probably would be at least in my genre, would be 7 years old to maybe 14 or 15. But, the median age for people that play video games is 35, believe it or not. So it's kind of wide. My audience is mainly 7 to 14. The long-term goal, because I realize all good things must come to an end, and like I said, I am getting older, and video games probably won't be a huge passion for the rest of my life, which is why I'm looking into doing video work. I love editing video, coming up with ideas. I worked at Duke's Lumber for a long period of time, and got involved with advertising and marketing, and that was just really exciting to me to do it for somebody else rather than for myself, and also why I'm kind of getting into the picnic table thing a little bit more, because I like working with my hands a little bit, and dining room tables and all that. It's not just picnic tables, there's a lot of different things. All right, cornhole boards, how many cornhole players we got here? You know what I'm talking about. So I kind of just do a lot of things, so I'll figure something out, but for right now, I'm going to ride this as long as I can, because it's, not too many people get to hold a controller in their hands all day and call it work.
A question in the back?
Yeah, quick question. What about the different platforms and changes you see coming in? For example, Apple and iWatch and that type of thing. And now you see kids playing games with iPads rather than TV and big screen. And what do you see coming in the future for that?
Really, I think the consoles like the Xboxes and PlayStations and even computers will always dominate when it comes to video gaming, I guess. I mean, it's I would hate to have to play on a little watch here on my hand when I've got like a 70-inch projection here, you know. But I think just the fact that that they continue to evolve. I mean, well, actually I didn't, but a lot of you, whenever I said who played video games, you're like, yeah, I remember Pong. I had some intense battles on Pong. Or, you know, Nintendo and whatever. I think consoles will always be around. Phones and watches and everything are great. But I don't see that. You know, there's virtual reality stuff they're coming out with now where you put this thing on your face and you feel like you're actually in the game, and that's slightly scary to me, but I think that'll always be around. So gamers will find a way to adapt, I guess, to find enjoyment.
Any other questions or comments?
How do you see gaming changing in terms of where we're going with it? I mean, we hear a lot about gaming in education and gaming in retail and connections worldwide with people playing games. Where do you see the future in gaming theory?
Well, my favorite genre is first-person shooter where you just run around, you're like, and that's it. So it's having come from that, it's remarkable how like realistic the graphics are. You'll probably see commercials for some of the next new games coming out. And it's like this almost looks like a movie almost. But even with that same realistic looking graphics, I mean, there's a game out called Surgeon Simulator, I think, where you go into somebody's body and you perform open heart surgery and you replace their heart, and it's like, is this real? Like, you're looking at, so I think video games, more than just the entertainment or just checking out for a little bit to veg out in front of a TV, it's just going to become more of a tool to train people and to teach people how to, I mean, Surgeon Simulator. Who wants to play Surgeon Simulator when you go home? Like, do open heart surgery when you go home. The tool's there, to teach and to educate, but a lot of people play it. That's the thing. So it's there to educate and to train, and I think it'll continue to be, especially as young people get older. You kind of want something that's exciting, and video games are a big part of everybody's past. So to incorporate into real world things would definitely help you to learn.
Okay, we have time for one more question. The mic is coming.
Being a mother of 4 kids, I would not allow my children to play such violent games.
Sure.
If you ever, do you have children? I'm sorry.
I do. I heard you have 4 girls, and I have 3 girls, so I got one more to go.
So at what age would you allow them to play video games, knowing that you've seen most of them?
Sure. Well, there's the games that I play, the shoot 'em up games or whatever. I kind of look at it more like ping pong. I mean, it's like I got you first or I beat you. It's not like I want to go out and commit horrible acts. But there are age ranges on games. Those games are ready to mature, and I would hate to say that responsible parents would not go out and buy their kids those games, because I'm thankful my mom did whenever I was 13 or 14. But there is an age range, and you have to be careful. My kids are 4, 5, and 7, and they like playing Candy Crush on their iPad or my wife's iPad. And there's games on the Wii, which are kind of like nice games where you raise an animal and you do all these. There's fun, but just like anything, there's age-appropriate stuff. So, my kids are playing Candy Crush and doing all these other games now, and I think once they get to the point of, if they ever want to play, and I certainly welcome that, because I'm going to teach them a lesson whenever we play these games that I like. I'll teach them, show them what's up. Then we can certainly do that when they get to a responsible age. But the same thing with movies. I wouldn't want them to go see a horror movie. And I mean, right now Disney Channel has all these scary movies on at night, and I'm just like, no Disney Channel. I got to keep you safe, and I don't want you to wake me up tonight. So it's the same thing, I think.
Brian, what can we do as a community to support you and help you grow?
Well, if anybody needs any creative ideas for video work or advertising, I certainly would love to share my experiences with you. I've been doing this since 2007, so I've, kind of figure out how some things work, and also if you have any kids that are between the age of 7 and 14 and want to send them to youtube.com/BryceSci and they play video games, that would be fantastic as well. Christmas is coming up. They're going to be getting those iTunes gift cards, and I certainly would appreciate some downloads.
Thank you, Brian. Great presentation. Just in closing, I just wanted to remind everyone that 1 Million Cups happens every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. in the Student Services Center. Thank you, and thank you for your support today.
I do have to make a comment and give credit to Jack Riddle. He's the one who said his daughter told him, "Have you heard of BryceSci?" He told me, and then the rest of is history. We tracked you down. But what great presentations we've had this morning. Next, keeping us on time, is our Sussex Snapshot. Ed Simon, Workforce Analyst for the Delaware Economic Development Office, will present a brief Sussex County statistical update. And Ed has provided lots more statistics in your workbook, and they are available on our website for you to download. Please welcome Ed.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I need to be brief. I owe you a few minutes from last year because I went over my 10 minutes. So I got to hurry through it. No, I'm just kidding. But it's great to be back here again. And Dr. Smith mentioned that the more lengthy presentation is in your workbook and will be on the conference website as well. And today, what I'm going to do is present a snapshot of how Sussex County is doing in this year, 2014. So, okay, so this is actually, I have 6 or 7 slides, so we're going to rush through this, but if you have any questions, please get in touch with me via email would be the best way to contact me, and that you'll see my name on the longer presentation, my name and contact information. But Sussex is doing pretty well this year. Job growth is increasing, and I have some numbers, but we'll get to that in a minute. We went through a pretty difficult time a few years ago, very difficult recession, and Sussex, like the rest of the state and nation, really took a shot in terms of unemployment and job loss. But fortunately, this year, the last couple of years have been pretty good. And we've really recovered. The unemployment rate this year is low, much lower than it had been. Real estate sales, I got some data from Ruth Briggs King, the Sussex County Association of Realtors, and it showed that for the first 3 quarters of this year, real estate sales in Delaware totaled $924 million, which is about a 7% increase from the same 3-quarter period in 2013. So we'll see, we're doing good, much better than we had been. And that's despite the very difficult first quarter we had with weather-related issues. So we're doing much better. Housing starts, building permits, I have that in the longer presentation. 2014 is a little bit up over a year ago. It's nowhere near what it was in the early part of the middle part of the decade. But you can see that it's increased almost every year the last four or 5 years. Tourism is a key sector. I got some data from we have the State Tourism Office at Dido, and they have a report. It was actually 2012, but real estate expenditures in Sussex County was about 1.6 billion. And so that's one of our key sectors. Now that includes, and you'll see some industries. We'll talk about the industries that make up tourism, which we've covered in earlier years. Agriculture, there's a report by the Census of Agriculture Department of Ag, comes out every 5 years. The most recent report actually was for the year of 2012, but in Sussex County, the market value of agricultural products was $921 million. And it's an interesting report. It's on the internet, and I could lead you to it. And actually farmland, we haven't really lost that much farmland. Actually, I was kind of amazed that the agriculture sector has held up as well as it has. So, and that's one of our major industries here, so that's good news. One interesting thing is Sussex County is the #1 broiler producing county in the nation. And it's been that way going back, I think, since records have been kept, maybe the 1940s. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But this chart covers the unemployment rates for the last 5 years or so. And you can see in 2010, Sussex unemployment rate was 8%, which was extremely high. I think that might have been our peak year. It was kind of the tail end of the recession. Things were still not where we wanted them to be. But as you can see, each year, 2011, 2012, 2013, and this year, the unemployment rate has dropped. Now, Sussex rate is pretty comparable to the Delaware and the U.S. rate. The U.S. rate has plummeted quite a bit and looks like it's going to be averaging around 6.3% so far. Job growth, and this is pretty significant because Sussex job growth in 2014 compared to the same period a year ago. So we're looking at, I guess, data through September or so. Sussex grew at a rate of 2.6%, a little faster than Delaware, but Delaware is growing much faster than the nation as a whole. And that wasn't the case a few years ago. Our job growth was really lagging the national economy. But things have turned around in a positive way. One thing that I did, sometimes rather than look at 1 year's worth of data, I wanted to look at a few years to get a trend. And in terms of job growth, healthcare led the way since 2009 through 2013, annual averages. Healthcare had picked up 1,100 jobs. Leisure and healthcare, of course, includes physicians' offices, hospitals, laboratories, anything related to medical, nursing homes, skilled nursing homes. Leisure and hospitality grew by 1,041. Now, that's one of the major sectors that makes up our tourism industry, and also non-tourism industry. Leisure and hospitality would be recreation, amusement and recreation, entertainment, motels and hotels, which is huge. And that's throughout the county, especially in our eastern part, naturally, because of our beach areas. But it is still a significant industry throughout the entire county, western part as well. Wholesale and retail trade. Wholesale is the distribution of parts and supplies and things like that, equipment. Retail would include like the stores that you see at the outlets, the clothing stores, shoe stores, department stores, food stores, liquor stores, the whole bit. So that grew at a rate of 936 jobs in that period. Professional business services. With that, you get into some more high-tech and service areas like law offices, accounting, architectural and engineering, computer system design, advertising, scientific research, veterinary service. We'll have somebody from the veterinary industry here this morning. Administrative support. So that grew at a rate of 4.3. Now, there's other industries that have grown, but maybe not quite as much as the ones that I had listed. But like for this year, actually 2014, most of the industries are increasing in terms of jobs, or at least being stable. Now, the next chart is a little bit complicated. Overall, I got this information from Veronica Buckwalter. She ran these numbers for me. She's the director of CIRA, which is the Delaware Tech's Center for Industry Research and Workforce Alignment. So I thank her for giving me this kind of data. I've never had this kind of data before. And I have more data back in the office if you need it. But I picked those 4 industries that had the most job growth. I listed them here. And the biggest one was, well, wholesale and retail trade was about $12 billion. And then healthcare, leisure and hospitality, and professional and business services was still pretty big at $788 million. I wanted to mention, you don't see manufacturing. I just looked up manufacturing, $6.8 billion in manufacturing products were sold in the most recent year. That makes up 24% of our total. Now, the reason you don't see them on here, the job growth wasn't quite as good as the others, but I just wanted to point that out because that is a significant thing. Okay, so in summary, it's been a good year. The median age is higher here. We didn't really cover that today, but that's going to lead to more migration, more businesses. And one of the things that I learned by doing this report this year is how diverse the Sussex labor market and economy is. People think of tourism and retail and things like that, but it's much broader. As you saw some presenters today, we are a very diverse economy in terms of our businesses. So thank you very much, and enjoy the conference.
Here you go. All right, well, let's look ahead a minute. We're going to have a break, and after the break, we're going to have a panel discussion. And you know what? A panel discussion needs a moderator. But I got to tell you that our longtime moderator got a new job last year, and he had to leave our conference planning team. He is now the state director for USDA for Delaware and Maryland, so he's pretty important. But Dr. Bill McGowan couldn't stay away from us today, so as he has for nearly 20 years, he will again moderate the panel after the break. So you now have a 15-minute break, and don't make me gong you. You gotta be back by 9:25. All right.
So first off, I am Bill McGowan. I do have to, it is a pleasure to be back here. I do have to clarify one thing. I am not the state director for Delaware, Maryland for USDA, but just one little piece of USDA, and that's rural development. We're kind of the hidden, quiet side of USDA, but we're the folks that, if you look at the business card, it says committed to the future of rural communities. So we're the folks that bring you infrastructure, water and wastewater, broadband, housing, business and economy, things like that. So it is a pleasure to serve. I was sorry to step off this committee, but I was so glad to come back because when I walked in, I asked, where do I sit? And they said, on the perimeter. I said, are you kidding me? What's this all about? But I didn't know the perimeter was up front, so this is very good. So a couple observations. I had it's kind of really great how you put things together in a community because I live right down the road from Brian, and I've been driving past his house for years, and I will tell you, those picnic tables are not ripping off of his front yard. You know, they're there, they're great, it's quite a product, but now I know the real story. Very, very nice. So look, we have an impressive panel today representing diverse companies and organizations throughout this great county. You're going to hear about selling cars, real estate, selling a foundation, entertainment, selling the county, selling pet care, selling education. So kind of an eclectic mix of really what we do in this county. These Sussex County leaders represent traditional sales environments and non-traditional areas where we don't picture people as salespeople. Your job is to listen and to think. What are the differences and similarities? How do they all sell? What makes them effective? And how does the leader and their organization embrace selling? So think about that. Think about what you can learn from them, and think about what you want to ask them. So I'll give a brief bio of each of our speakers to get us started, and you'll find, as you know, more complete information in the conference workbook. They'll do about a 10-minute presentation. At the end, we will take some questions. So first is Charlie Burton, and they're going to be speaking there, so they're coming this way. So Charlie is the 5th generation owner of IG Burton Auto Dealerships located in Milford and Seaford. With over 225 employees, IG Burton and Company is comprised of several dealerships selling Chevrolet, Dodge Jeep Ram, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW in Milford, Chevrolet in Seaford, and the IG Burton Bluebird Bus Center, and the IG Burton Delaware Body Shop and Collision Center in Milford. Charlie has run the operation for 25 years, taking it from a small family business to the successful organization it is today. Todd is followed by, next to Charlie, is Pat Campbell-White. Pat has been in the real estate profession since 1974 and built a successful career based on personal and caring service. She has trained real estate professionals locally and nationwide on subjects such as professional standards, new member orientation, leadership, fair housing, and cultural diversity. Together with her daughter, Carla Shader, she formed Rehoboth Beach team of Ocean Atlantic Southbeach International Realty, serving the communities of Rehoboth Beach, Lewis, Bethany Beach, Milton, and Millsboro. Third is Patty Grimes. Patty is the executive director of the Carl M. Freeman Foundation and Joshua M. Freeman Foundation. She leads the team and oversees the programming and performances at the Freeman Stage at Bayside, an open-air performing arts venue located near Fenwick Island. The mission of her organization is to present memorable performances and provide inspired arts education for all. A program with the Joshua M. Freeman Foundation, the Freeman Stage presents dance, live music, theater, and children's programming. The stage was the recipient of the Southern Delaware Tourism Award in 2013 and the Governor's Award for the Arts in 2014. Next is Todd Lawson. Todd is the Sussex County Administrator appointed by the County Council to oversee the day-to-day operations of county government. As the top appointed official in Sussex County government, he prepares the annual budget and carries out the policies and laws set forth by the County Council. Todd has made it a priority to streamline county processes, update technology and facilities, and improve transparency in government. He continues to focus on the efficiency and effectiveness of the county's operations to ensure staff have the tools they need to provide superior customer service. Todd is followed by Dr. Andy Richter, and Andy is a native of Dover, a third-generation Delawarean, and a graduate of the College of Veterinary Medicine at the University of Tennessee. She and her husband, Dr. Robert Pedigo, opened Savannah Animal Hospital in Lewis in 1988. The facility originally provided living quarters, a small animal practice, and served as a base for large animal ambulatory practice. After multiple renovations, the practice became exclusively small animal, providing medicine and soft tissue and orthopedic surgery, as well as hotel services. Now in its 27th year, Savannah Animal Hospital employs 9 veterinarians and a staff of 63. And the final panelist is Dr. David Ring, Jr. David is the superintendent for the Del Mar School District. He has spent 31 years in K-12 education, a hero, and is now in his 8th year as superintendent. The Bi-State Del Mar School District's mission is to provide all students with the opportunity to build 21st century skills, develop a sense of social responsibility, embrace cultural diversity, and foster intellectual growth through academic excellence, the arts, and athletics. During his tenure, some of his accomplishments have included the completion of major renovations to facilities, the passage of 4 successful referendums, and the launch of a new state-of-the-art website. So Charlie, you want to start us off? You can use the important one.
That's good. That's a little closer in case I pass out. Well, thank you, everybody, for allowing me to be here today. Thank you for Del Tech for inviting me. I really consider this to be quite an honor. My dad has a saying in the car business that nothing happens in the car business until somebody sells a car. I'm Charlie Burton, owner and operator of IG Burton & Company. We're an automotive retailer with dealerships in Milford and Seaford. Our family has been selling and servicing automobiles for 106 years, all here in Delaware. I'm a fifth-generation car dealer. I don't think there's probably 6 of them in the country. Usually the first one builds it, the second one enjoys it, and the third one destroys it. So, so I feel very good to be in the position that I am today. In the car business, we're selling all the time. Everyone who works for our company understands this and makes great effort to inform and educate the customer so they can make a well-informed decision. The car business is a big, very competitive business. It has lots of expense. Today's customers has lots of choices when looking to purchase or maintain their vehicle. Buying a car or truck is the second most major purchase a customer will make in their lives. They have lots of different makes and models to choose from, as well as many different dealers to purchase from. As stated, our goal is to inform and educate the consumer so they can make a well-informed purchasing decision they feel good about. We do such by hiring the right people with the right attitudes. We are a very process-driven organization, and we intently train our people on our processes. We manage and we measure and manage the processes strictly. We want each of our customers to have a consistent, positive, thorough purchasing experience. We need to demonstrate the competitive difference between our product and our competitor's product. We also need to let them know why they should purchase and do business with us. We need to educate the customer as to why we are a great place to do business. After we sell the vehicle, we want the customer to come back for service and maintain their vehicle with us. Our service advisors and techs have to maintain and repair the automobile and do so in a manner that the customer will come back and want to come back. Our advisors sell the value in maintaining and repairing the vehicle and why they should do such with IG Burton & Company. A customer who maintains their vehicle at the dealership is twice as likely to purchase their next vehicle from the dealership. There's a saying in the car business, there's a lot of sayings in the car business. I know most of them. And that is, sales sells the first vehicle, but service and parts really sells the next. There are many sales operations in a car dealership. Auto sales, service and repair, parts, accessories, body shop repair. But we also do tag work. We obtain financing for cars. We purchase vehicles from auction. We do mountains of paperwork for various entities. In all these transactions, we are dealing with people. All these people are either customers or potential customers, because thank goodness, most people drive cars. This is why everyone who works for our company has to be positive, smart, well-educated in their job function, respectful, and caring about people. That's actually our mission statement, to care about people. They want to do business with people, I'm sorry. Consumers want to do business with competent people who care about them. They want to do business with people they can trust. This is the type of business we are. But even with our 106-year-old history, there are many people in our market that do not know this, and it is everyone's job at IG Burton & Company to educate them so they do. This is what we sell at IG Burton & Company, and we sell it every day. Thank you all for allowing me to speak, and thank you all for allowing me to be here.
The first time I saw Dr. Smith walk up to a podium with nothing but an iPad in her hand, and I thought, you know, one of these days I'll get enough nerve to try that. Today's the day, but guess what? I did have to bring one piece of paper just in case. That isn't the same thing that's on the iPad, so if the iPad goes dead, I won't have anything to say. Believe that, right? I have to tell you, there was also we had a fabulous planning session. getting ready for this. And it was decided in the planning session that I had to become the self-fulfilling prophecy that I would be the one that gets gonged. So, but anyway, I think back to many, many wonderful opportunities to be here at Del Tech, starting back to the September of 1973, when I took a real estate class here, not knowing that that would become the career that has given me the opportunity to be an active role in play an active role in Sussex County and be here today, as well as raise my 2 children. And it was wonderful as I was driving over here this morning, thinking about my oldest daughter, who most mornings is out on a baseball field at Sports at the Beach between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, and going, how does she do it? And of course, I walk in, and there's Bobby and Pete. Now, they're here representing Sports at the Beach, so that's pretty great. I also laugh about, you know, when I think about technology being a very large part of what I do in real estate, when I made the decision I wanted an iPad, it was like, okay, what are you supposed to do? Your comment was research. I researched, I picked up the phone, I called Bobby, I said, get me what I need and what I want. Right? I'm standing there the next day waiting for it to show up in the mailbox. It's not there. This is part of the instant gratification society we are. It's not there. Well, she had it sent to her because she programmed it and brought it to my house that night, all up and running and ready for Mom. So we'll see how well it works. Yes, I do sell real estate, and supposedly there are 36 other people who are gainfully employed because of what I do and what the other over 1,000 realtors, and there are a lot of them here in the room today. Real estate licensees, realtors in the room today. You know, we're a very, very large part of Sussex County's economy. And when I sit at a settlement table with a buyer and a seller, I think about all those people, and I'm not going to stand here and try to name all 36 of them, but I know there was a surveyor, I know there was a mortgage lender, I know there was a title searcher, there could have been a plumber, an electrician, and a carpenter guy, and some carpet manufacturers, some installers of appliances, and painters, and that is even before we think about the portion of Sussex County economy that has already been discussed as far as the way it's grown, it's very significant, and what we have in sales for right now. Charlie almost stole my line because when we were having our planning session, this didn't come from the car business, it came from I don't know where, but it said nothing happens until somebody sells something. And I loved the tagline is to sell or not to sell isn't the question. Every single one of us, whether we want to admit it or not, are involved in some type of sales and marketing. And a lot of the sales and marketing that I do in selling real estate is your businesses. And somebody buys a home from us, they call and they want to know what dry cleaners, what doctor's office. How many times have I given them Andy Richter's phone number to take their pet to the veterinarian? Or where do you go for this? Where do you go for that? Or as I'm touring people around Sussex County, I ride them through Cape Henlopen State Park and see the beautiful things that we have, and I talk to them about Del Tech. Whereas I ride by Tunnel Cancer Center, I talk about how great it was 8 years ago when I needed it. I had chemo treatments there at the Tunnel Cancer Center. I didn't have to go to Wilmington any longer to get that done. And how hard we have worked in Sussex County to make this a really, really good place to be. Now, you know, salespeople get a bad rap every now and then. Anybody in here remember Maslow? Okay, Maslow, yeah, really big on your list, exciting guys to talk about, right? What were the 3 things he said were the baseline of what everybody needs? Food, clothing, shelter. Guess what? I just provide one of the 3 of those, something we all have in common. Every single one of us this morning, I hope, woke up with a roof over our head. And some real estate salesman or developer help you get that. We have to know about the bricks and the mortar and the construction and the zoning, the other things that I've already talked about, what is going on, and screen started to go dark. Horrible. Things that go along, and here's another change of what has happened in the things that we sell. We have, you know, real estate, what do you want to do when you want to find real estate? Well, you might pick up a magazine, or you might pick up the Cape Gazette, or you might pick up Delaware Beach Life. And I tell people that, and Dennis, I wish I knew the exact number of hits, and there's some number that we throw out that sounds awfully impressive. I'd have to ask Carla, my business partner, because I don't remember, that, the Cape Gazette sells this many copies, but Village Soup and Cape Gazette online gets triple, quadruple, beaucoup more exposure for their home than what somebody's going to get by picking up a magazine. This magazine, Coastal Collection, is a product of Ocean Atlantic Sotheby's, where I work in Rehoboth, and it's in your packet for you to take home with you today. A lot more people will view this magazine in its online version and look at homes in there for sale, and you'll learn a lot about Sussex County and about this market in there. There are a lot of generational differences in selling real estate today. Whether we're dealing with the boomers, the Gen X, the Gen Y, the millennials. A couple years ago, I had a couple called me up to see a house. I went out and showed it to them. It was a Sunday afternoon. The guy says, I've got an hour and a half. Can you write this up and get this house for me in the next hour and a half? I was like, yep. My office is 3 minutes away. Follow me. So we got the paperwork all tidied up, cash transaction. We were getting ready to leave, and I said, okay, I just need to do one thing. I need to establish how are we going to communicate. He said, if you need me to get anything, fax it to me. What? I had already unplugged my fax machine a couple years before that. No, but I knew what was going to happen in the transaction because his daughter said, you and I will never hear each other's voice because you'll text me everything. Yes. And that's the way, we do business. So we have to be willing to change in the way that we are selling things, be willing to meet the customers where they are and the way they need to be served. My business, and I don't know if you expected to hear about, how many hours a week I put in or what I do. I believe the business that I'm in boils down to two things: people knowledge and product knowledge. I have to know about the bricks and the mortar, the zoning regulations, and my brother, who lives on a couple 100-acre farm outside between Farmington and Harrington, said, and remind them if they move next door to me and they think my horses smell, tough luck. Delaware is a right to farm act state, right? Right to farm act state, right. And somebody, a farmer will always let out with a good amen during that comment. And people who are coming in from outside the area need to understand that. Boiling it down to people knowledge. Charlie already touched on this just a little bit. Every single one of us needs to make sure that the people we work with have one thing on the front of their forehead, whether it's a client, a customer, or the person that's answering the phone at your office. And that's a note there that says, make me feel important. Remember to say thank you. I mean, how many of us would have thought years ago that we'd be getting a birthday email or even a birthday card from our car dealer? That was actually in my speech before I remembered you were here. But I do. The guy that's leased me my cars every year, and I probably get another email from him every couple months. So I'll go a little bit step further, Jack, from what you said about keeping in touch with him yearly. Every month, every few weeks. Find a reason to get in touch with that customer, remind them you're there, you're doing what you're doing, you're promoting every day, you're educating every day, and you're selling every day. And a lot of what we're selling, and I have 46 more seconds to do it, a lot of what I'm selling is what it means to have a wonderful life in Sussex County. And there's even a product that our company puts out. I had to justify bringing this piece of paper up here. And it was put together by one of the gentlemen in our company called Why Live in Delaware. And there's some really awesome material in here. If you'd like me to send a copy of it to you, just shoot me an email. It's pat@beachteam.com, and I'd love to hear from you and help you and assist you continue to be part of wonderful Sussex County. Thank you. And I didn't get gonged, Ileana.
Good morning. My name is Patty Grimes, and today I'm going to speak to you as the Executive Director of the Joshua M. Freeman Foundation, and our program is the Freeman Stage at Delaware, the Freeman Stage at Bayside. And I just want to applaud Pat because at the end, she was selling herself. So it's all about selling, and congratulations on that shout out. Great for you. So I'm going to sell the Freeman Stage today, and I'm going to give you a little background about who we are, what we do, and why sales is such an important factor for our organization. We present about 80 performances during 2014. About 50 of those are at the stage in Selbyville, and another 30 are throughout the county. This year, we will have over 52,000 folks enjoy memorable arts performances. And when I first took this job as the executive director, or actually working on the foundation, my past experience was leading sales and marketing in the for-profit world. So when I was asked to start a foundation and bring the arts to the county, I thought, okay, what's my product? Who's our customer? What is our competition? Who's our competition? And what is our unique selling proposition? I went, ugh. Well, I'm here to tell you that our product is not tangible. We sell the value of experiences. And when people decide to sponsor or donate towards our mission or to buy a ticket, we are selling an opportunity to elevate the human spirit. Wow, how do you value that? How do you measure that? How do you sell that? And what we realize is that our patrons and our donors have many choices when it comes to enjoying arts. We also know that the arts are a powerful component to this community. It helps make Sussex County a special place. It provides hope to many people, and it leaves people with a lasting impression. Just ask any of our volunteers and our staff. It's nothing better than at the end of a performance when someone comes up to you with not only, their spouse or their partner, but maybe a grandparent is with the grandchild, and they said, we have made our vacation plans because of what you have created here at the Freeman Stage. And we go, wow, this is why we do what we do. But we realize that what we have to do is we have to transform the marketing of a performance into an exceptional experience when the patron walks into our venue. We know that this is an individualistic experience. So you may like a particular genre of music. You may like a certain temperature in the weather. You may like to sit a certain place in our venue. You may like a specific type of beverage. And your person sitting next to you may like just the opposite. So how do we deliver on those customer experiences? Because that's what we're creating. That's what we're measured on. And we're in the referral business, like all my other partners up here on the panel today speaking. We know that if someone has a great experience at the Freeman Stage, that they will tell another person about their positive experience, and hopefully they'll come back. We also believe that every person in our organization is a salesperson. Every person, and it starts with the top, with our president, Michelle Freeman, to our board of directors, who many are in the room today. Thank you so much for your support. To our staff, and we have over 100 volunteers. So the 52,000 folks that we serve is done with a full-time staff of 5 people, 100 volunteers, and a strong board of 8 folks. So how do we do that? It starts with an aligned and passionate mission. That is the barometer to how we present everything that we do, from our great marketing to how our venue is set up, to how someone can go on our website and buy a ticket, and which performances that we present at the stage. It's all mission-based, and I have to tell you that every day we true up to, are we doing good work? Is it aligned with our mission? And are we following through and doing what we say that we're going to do. Because honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what makes the difference of someone referring you or coming back to your venue. So we train our staff. We actually begin every performance at the Freeman stage with a huddle with our volunteers, just so that we can consistently make sure that our key points about that evening, about the type of performance, about safety precautions in the venue, what we can expect, if there's going to be an intermission, so that everyone who leaves that huddle is walking and talking in the same way, so that when 1,500 people come into our venue, everyone is greeted with a smile. They can ask a question, and it's going to be answered consistently. And the key about training your staff when you're in a sales-driven organization is that it leads to competence, and competence leads to confidence. So if you can spend your time understanding the value of experiences that you are creating for other people, when our customers come into the venue, guess what? We can actually listen to what they're saying. We can actually have a dialogue. We do not have to be worried about what are the rules, what are the guidelines. You know, what time is the performance? What time is there an intermission? Where are the bathrooms? Everyone in our organization is tasked to know the details. And when we sweat the details, we are ready to have a great night. And we're also happy to be able to be part of a great experience. So when you're selling, our staff is just as passionate and happy to be there as our volunteers, and hopefully is having such a great time that it's showing on the faces and they're interacting with our customers. So we talk a big game. You know, we say we're going to go big or go home. So we have a great big attitude. We've, in 8 years, have gone from the first year of 13,000 folks to 52,000 folks. We set a big bar. And then how do we execute on that? Because I've talked about what happens when someone comes in the venue. So someone tells someone about the Freeman stage and they're excited. We have to make sure that our tools, our social media tools, our website, our printed materials actually educate that customer so that they can make a good decision when they buy our product. Because very few people buy the product when they come to the door. Very few people buy the ticket the day of the performance, unless there might be a little bad weather. But, you know, we're at the Freeman stage, so it's always, we don't let the weather get in the way of a good time. But when people go to our website, they have to understand what it is that they're buying. Where are they going to be seating? Do they have to bring their own chair or not? You know, what time does the gate open? You know, tell me a little bit about that performance. And so maniacally, every day, we have to be checking our website to make sure we have accurate information. Our interactive software programs have to work on a 24-hour basis. People are buying your product. People are buying tickets at 1 a.m. in front of their computer when everybody else is sleeping. So you are ready and prepared to do business 24 hours a day. And, you know, social media is a huge driver of our business. You have to deliver on great service because there are a lot of people who love to tell their story on social media. So, you know, we do our best to provide great education on social media, great messaging, the opportunity for links to go to our website for more information and to buy tickets. We do that with Twitter as well. But the first time that someone has a bad experience, where are they going to tell their story? Maybe TripAdvisor, it may be social media, it may be picking up the phone. But those are the things that our staff manages through the training and being empowered to work with customers when they're in the venue and there's a misalignment or a misexpectation. It's going to happen in your business, and you need to be prepared to empower your volunteers and prepare your staff to be able to deliver on their customer service standard in a way that leaves that customer feeling that they were listened to and they were cared for. It may not be the result that they were looking for, but at the end of the day, if they felt that they were treated with respect, then that will be the next opportunity to sell them again. So with that, I have lots more to talk about, but the red light is going. So I'm going to thank you and the county for your support. I hope that everyone is touched by what the arts bring, and know that people are your greatest asset in sales. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I've got a PowerPoint here if we can figure out how to make this thing work. There we go. Good. That way you don't have to stare at my beautiful head. Thanks for having me today. You know, when I thought about what I was going to say today, and we actually had our planning session, and there was a lot of good energy, as Pat related to, in preparing for today's remarks. But I wasn't quite sure what I was going to say representing local government. And in the true sense of the word, I didn't think that we sold anything. And I started to really think about what we do and the synergy that you'll hear either in my remarks or in others. Clearly, the county is in the business of selling, and we're really right in the middle of that wheel. We're the hub. And I've seen it in the remarks that we've already had today, and I think you'll hear about it more so in my presentation. So let us begin. My first reaction was, we're the government, we don't sell anything. But then I got to think about it, and we are in the business of selling the county and the numerous services that our customers have come to expect. We sell the county by creating an environment where business can be successful, and by promoting a lifestyle that has attracted a wave of new residents who have decided to call Sussex County home. So today I'm going to share my thoughts on what I'm calling selling Sussex County. When you think about what makes Sussex sell, oftentimes you hear these remarks. From the citizens, it's low taxes, quality of life, natural beauty. From businesses, it's the ease of doing business, the workforce that's available, and a reasonable cost in doing business in the county. There are other factors involved as well. Our healthcare systems, our local education systems, the lifestyle, and the services and amenities that are available to our citizens. This is what makes Sussex so special and unique. We often point to these factors when we are selling the county to a prospective business or to anyone that is looking to expand or relocate here. On a personal note, these are some of the factors that we considered when I moved back from living away for 14 years to come back to my home to take on this position 4 years ago. So I can relate to what makes Sussex special when you're making those types of considerations. One of the reasons, one of the hallmarks for Sussex County is the following formula. The winning formula for Sussex County remains keeping low taxes while providing the right level of services, quality services. This is the model that this current county council follows and the ones before it. Most municipalities in today's world of ever-changing economies dedicate some facet of their organization to economic development. Sussex County is no different. The current county council and their predecessors has made economic development a priority through grants and loans, through funding for our public infrastructure at the airport and industrial park, and by maintaining the position of Economic Development Director within our staff. As most of you in this room know, we were very pleased to announce Melody Booker Wilkins as our new director, and she started in that role just last week. Thank you. The broad focus of economic development in Sussex is summarized on this slide. Retain and expand existing businesses, recruit new businesses, collaborate with stakeholders, and remain positive on our outlook. When we're selling Sussex County, we look at these points to guide us. The last point, remaining positive, I think is a philosophy all of us in this room should embrace. if I may be so bold. When I look at Sussex County, I realize that in 2009, 2010, we took a direct hit with our local economy. And some out there are still suffering. But we've got a lot to look at and see that we are moving in the right direction. Some of the facts and figures that Ed's shared with us, we are seeing on the county level as well. I'm going to share with those in a minute. As leaders within the county, we need to remain positive and tell anyone who asks, things are good in Sussex County. We've got a great story. After all, if we're not positive about our own future, why would someone else want to come here, grow here, expand here, invest here? Here are some of the trends that I'd like to share with you today, briefly. This is our barometer at the county. As Pat related to earlier, the housing sector shows us what is happening out there. These are real-world snapshot figures that are comparing last year to today. All double-digit increases in the housing sector that we're seeing. Building inspections are up 31%. Building permits, fire service fees, mobile home placement, the all-important realty transfer tax up 20%. Private road review and inspections up 32%. But in my opinion, we can't remain idle. We can't rest on our laurels. We must continue to work to keep Sussex special and to see the county prosper. To remain competitive and to help us sell Sussex, we need to continue our work at the county to improve our operations, manage the localized trends, and strive to provide the customer service everyone has come to expect. Everyone in this room, whether you're a resident, business owner, citizen, visitor, property owner, you are our customer. One way or another, we are selling Sussex County to you, which means we need to make good decisions and ensure the county is operating in a manner to which our customers approve. And I'm happy to report we have a number of recent accomplishments and milestones that we at the county and the county council are proud of and you as taxpayers will appreciate. They include a remodeled administration building, allowing our customers to come in, visit our one-stop shop, pay their taxes, pull their building permit, get a dog license. We've created a brand new website, making it easier to navigate, having you be able to access data quicker, and putting more data on the website day after day. We've recently completed a $7 million expansion and renovation to the county's runway, putting a new level of payment down and extending the runway an extra 500 feet. We opened the brand new Greenwood Library, providing a state-of-the-art technology center for that community as well as Western Sussex. We installed Smart 911 technology, partnered with the cities of Seaford and Rehoboth to provide county-wide coverage for Smart 911 technology. There's information in your packets. Smart 911 is a technology whereby you can associate a phone number with a profile, put all the information you want in that profile, and should you ever have to call 911, that information is put up on the screen in front of the dispatcher instantly, helping them and you in that state of emergency. In addition, if you ever travel outside of the county and go to a Smart 911 community like Newcastle or Washington, D.C., participating communities, that information follows you. So I would encourage you to go online, smart911.com, go on the county's website and sign up. We've embarked on new county training curriculum for all our staff in an effort to improve customer service, management skills, provide executive-level professional development. We continue to see the benefits of the multi-million-dollar computer system this council bought a few years ago. It literally changed the way the county can do business, bringing us into the 21st century. For instance, we are now able to process all of our tax payments within 24 hours of receipt, even on the height of tax season. More transactions can be completed online by going to our website, saving someone the trip to Georgetown to do business with the county. And additional data is being pushed onto our website every single day for the public to access, increasing efficiency and transparency. For example, right now, literally today, on the circle, we are scanning all of our planning and zoning maps into a GIS database whereby everyone can go onto our website and see every single zoning in the county via the website. That is taking place as we speak. We've embarked on a brand new marketing project for the county, for the county's airport, analyzing that facility, figuring out how we can make it grow, literally making us land new tenants, pun intended. And finally, we're training our inspectors and assessors to use handheld tablets to perform their inspections and work on site. So if they're conducting an inspection or an assessment at your house or at your foundation or in your development, very soon you'll be able to receive text messages and email alerts relating to you the information that the inspectors have done, pushing the information to our computer system in Georgetown, letting you know in real-world time what's happening with your house. All of this is taking place as we speak. These highlights provide a snapshot of what we're doing and accomplishing at Sussex County in an effort to sell Sussex. If we are to remain attractive, stay competitive, and be able to prosper, this is what it takes. And that is my hope. It is my hope that these efforts to sell Sussex produce results, and all of you in this room play a part in achieving these goals. Ultimately, it should be our mission to see a day when Sussex County has an established and sustainable economic environment to allow future generations to remain in this community and flourish. To really sell Sussex County, we need to appreciate why this community is special, remain positive about our outlook, and work together to prosper. In conclusion, whether we're selling Sussex to a prospective business or selling a service to our residents, I think we have the model that works and a mission to reach our goals. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Good morning. It's an honor to represent Savannah Animal Hospital at the Celebration Conference. I happen to be so afraid of technology and the remote control that I actually brought a person with me to help with that. So I want to thank Christine Gillen for contacting me and giving me this opportunity. This conference certainly represents to me another unique thing that happens in Sussex County. I went to the planning meeting and I thought this is a great idea, and I learned that this has been going on for 21 years, so I want to applaud Del Tech for a great job. I also want to warn you that I'm used to being in an exam room with 1 or 2 people as my audience, so this is very different for me to talk to this many people, so I hope it goes okay. And as I said, I brought Allie League with me to calm my nerves. Allie is a 2004 graduate of the University of Delaware with a degree in agriculture and natural resources and a concentration in animal science. She joined Savannah Animal Hospital in 2005. She is a managing veterinary technician, and she is obviously our go-to for any kind of technology. So today, Allie is going to be adding a few pictures to my story. I was introduced well, so that took up a lot of my speech, but I am a third-generation Delawarean. I'm very proud of it. How many Delawareans do we have in here? Woo! And I've also raised 4 more Delawareans, so we have 4 more in the wings. So first of all, I want to just familiarize you with Savannah Animal Hospital. We've had many looks over the years. We did open our doors in 1988, and we have a picture of the hospital way before we purchased it. It is located on Route 1, as many of you know, and it was owned by a riverboat pilot, James White. So that's what it looked like before we purchased it. And we had lots of help from my parents getting here. And this is what it looked like when we purchased it in 1988 from Lingo. The house was initially converted into our first home in the top 2 floors, and the originations of Savannah Animal Hospital in the bottom 2 floors. Fortunately for us, from day one, we had people desiring service. We didn't even have our doors open, and people were knocking. We didn't have the equipment that we needed, but we did the best that we could at that time for the people. We had one volunteer employee who signed up with us from day one, and it was fortunate that she was a volunteer because we had less than zero money to put into this. Thanks again to the parents helping us. But Lewis seemed to be very ready for a veterinary practice, and we hit the floor running, and fortunately, our practice has been growing ever since. So we'll go on with some more looks. This is what we looked like in 1990, still having our entrance on West Coates Road. Then we went to a different color in 1998. We were still a small animal. We were a mixed practice at this point. There was large animal, ambulatory, and small animal within the practice. Then we went to 2005, which is our look that we currently have, which many of you are familiar with. And then in 2012, we added 24-hour animal emergency services. And we have one more slide, which are our hopeful look. So all pending approval from Sussex County, of course. My father has drawn out some plans for us to expand in the future, but we don't know when that's going to occur. So we're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish at Savannah Animal Hospital. Currently, we are an exclusively small animal medicine and surgery practice. Surgery includes both soft tissue and orthopedic surgery. We are a well-equipped hospital. My husband loves toys. He's my partner. And we are opposites. Somebody said that earlier. So he likes the latest and greatest toys, and he is not afraid to buy them. We do have boarding, daycare, and grooming services. We provide 24-hour emergency service to anyone in the area in need, despite of their hospital affiliation. We have an online pharmacy for clients. As it was mentioned, we have a total of 9 doctors. 3 of those are dedicated to the emergency services. And in general, we want to offer a diversity of services there. Currently, we employ 70 people, which includes people from our kennel staff to the doctors. And today, we're here to talk about selling. Selling is very important at Savannah Animal Hospital. It's necessary to have income in order for us to do business. But we have to combine that with our mission of serving people through their pets. So how we sell becomes very important. We sell products like food, prescriptions, pet supplies, and we also sell services, vaccinations, dentals, preventative health care, boarding, daycare, grooming, and diagnostic tests. But we have to begin the process by selling ourselves to the public by establishing positive client-patient relationships and positive experiences at our facility. The reality is that clients and their pets have needs, and it is our goal to provide for them. It all equates to an avenue to sell. And we have found that our biggest avenue to sell is through client education. If we properly educate our clients on what is best for their pets, the selling just naturally follows. We don't have to be in the selling position. This graph was put together for a staff presentation that we made when we actually had to sell expanded hours to our own staff. The bar graph tracks financial growth of the hospital over the years, and it indicates with the red arrows what prompted that growth. As you can see, one of the biggest ways that we raised revenue was something called pillar education that was implemented in 2001. Pillars are considered to be structures of strength, and pillar education is designed to strengthen client education at Savannah Animal Hospital. This was a tool that we actually learned at a veterinary conference where my husband went and took staff members to learn how to do the process. They came back and implemented it enthusiastically, and we've been using it ever since. So the pillars are the foundation of our hospital, the basis of our client education. They're to be discussed with clients every year, and they're to be discussed consistently from all the staff, front to back, top to bottom. And they also form a client checklist within the medical records. The pillar topics that we discuss are dental disease, vaccination, heartworm disease, flea and tick control, ear care, nutrition, and senior care, all considered to be the primary needs of pets. The pillars were actually created by us and through researching topics through various resources, and they are kept current year after year as veterinary medicine progresses and changes. We present the topic at a full staff meeting, and then the staff have opportunities to study the topic at smaller, more intimate group meetings. Then we test them on the information so that we know that they learn it, and we offer pay raise incentives for them when they succeed at learning because it helps them to do their job better. We try to make the process of learning fun, and then we have to implement the pillars. So it all becomes staff-driven and client-centered. The technicians are doing the educating, and the doctors are freed up to do more diagnosing, prescribing, and formulating treatment plans. This is a picture of our staff at our 25th anniversary. The red button is going, but I do have one example. The dental pillar is presented in January because February is National Dental Month. The education encourages the staff to be looking for dental disease and to make appropriate recommendations based on pillar education. Statistically, about 50% of dogs and cats by the age of 3 have dental disease. So it's not very hard for the staff to find dental disease. And on an average, we do 37 dentals a month. But for the month of February, we will set a challenge of doing 100 dentals during the month. And if the staff accomplishes that, we will reward them with some type of staff celebration, which normally involves food because they love food. So, it's a systematic approach to get the end result and good client education from our staff for clients that want what is best for their pets. So we've been very fortunate at Savannah Animal Hospital. We have developed a wonderful clientele. We have a great team of employees. We have a nice facility to work in that's well equipped, and we have a mission that enables us to serve. I welcome any of you to come by. Thank you.
Good morning. I guess they say save the best for last. Bill, I have been called many things in my 10 years as a superintendent, but I don't think I've ever been called a hero, so thank you. Once again, I'm going to reiterate what some of our panelists have mentioned with regards to our planning session. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I have been the superintendent of a district in Sussex County and knew nothing about this event, nor did I ever hear about it. So I'm glad and I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to be invited to participate. And one of the things that I think we each discovered in our planning session was, what are we going to talk about? What can we share in terms of selling? And how can we stimulate an audience? Well, I am very proud to say that the school district of Del Mar can sell itself. We have an outstanding reputation. We have a rating of academic excellence in the arts and the athletics, certainly beyond my 10 years as the leader. And so as our conversation started in our planning session, I thought, I'm here talking to many stakeholders within Sussex County, and it's probably wise that I not just focus on Delmar, but I focus on the educational system, public education system here in our county. As you know, we have 9 school districts. There are 9 school chiefs that meet regularly. Not only do we meet within the state of Delaware, one of the nice things about being a small state is we get to meet twice a month, something which is very unheard of in other large states, or in particular in states that have county-wide school systems. Here in Sussex County, we meet on a regular basis. And as you well know, each and every one of our communities varies, it's different. None of us are problem-free. All of us have concerns and issues. Even though we're in the same county, we do have different cultures, different challenges, and the one thing that we can do on a regular basis is come together, discuss, discern, and figure out solutions to our problems. To extend that, as Sussex County Chiefs, we meet twice a year with all of our Sussex County elected officials. In fact, November 12th is our next Sussex County Fall Legislative Breakfast. And that's an opportunity for us to meet with our elected officials, not for a gripe session, but to share concerns that affect public education in our county, to share concerns in our community. Back to the planning session, when I was sharing with my colleagues here what was I going to say, I thought one of the most unique things that many of us in this room share with me is the fact that I could probably say 80% of you are parents, or a hand raise, how many of you are responsible for raising a child or children? Okay. Whether you are a parent or whether you're sharing in that parenting as a guardian of some kind, you share that responsibility. In my honest opinion, and in the 37 years that I've been in education, which is still my passion, we have the awesome job of parenting and partnering with parents and guardians. I'm not selling cars. I don't have yearly statistic sheets to look at. I have data that speaks to student success, yes. But I am responsible, as well as all of those in education, and most importantly, our teachers. They are the ones that are driving that instruction in classrooms. They are the ones that deserve the utmost support. But one of the things that I preach on a regular basis, or that we preach as school chiefs in Sussex County, is we have got to do a better job in parenting and partnering. I don't want the responsibility of changing diapers. That belongs at home. But I want to partner with a parent. I want to converse with a parent. I want to share that responsibility of raising a child. They are the most important gift in our community. They are part of our prosperity. They are part of future growth. We've heard a number of venues this morning that speak to what we have to offer in Sussex County with regards to quality of life. We are responsible with you as partners in creating productive citizens, providing challenges. And sometimes I want to say, can you let us just do our job? We're not perfect. We make mistakes. What we want to do is to generate a passion, and I can speak on behalf of the teachers in Delmar Middle and Delmar High School. Also, for those of you who know, we're a bi-state community, so our elementary school sits in Delmar, Maryland. So for all of our children in Delmar, and for all of those who are in front of those children and young adults on a daily basis, I know that they enter that room every day with a passion that not only emulates academic excellence, but a passion that is caring and concerning. So what do we do as chief school officers, as a superintendent? We try to stimulate that passion every day. We do that collectively here in Sussex County through our meetings. We share our stories. We share our problems, our issues. We offer suggestions. We argue. We're adults. We challenge each other. But the bottom line is we want to create an environment that allows our children to grow productively. But again, I go back to the point of we share the responsibility of partnering with parents and guardians. That's what we have to offer in Sussex County. And every one of our school systems, all of our 9 school districts, we have our problems, we have our challenges, but we have things that we glory every day in. And that is to educate children. That is to provide leadership to our teachers, support for our parents. I will say, and I may sound biased, but in the profession of being an educator, we wear more hats than the average professional in our country. We deal with parents, we deal with students, we deal with staff, we deal with community, and we deal with a variety of stakeholders, at least in my level of leadership. Not here to complain. Most of us, if not all of us, I can speak on behalf of our superintendents in this great county, work very hard every day to be the best that they can, to provide those children in our schools what they need, to be productive citizens. Hopefully they'll come back home. Hopefully they will come back and glory and enjoy the beauties that we have in this county. Whether it's the beach, whether it's the western side of the county, whatever it is. We want them to be productive citizens. We want them to go and grow and prosper. That is our job. So I am very happy to have had the opportunity to be here today, not only as a partner, but also as one who can share with many of you, and that is to share and sell Sussex County. Thank you very much.
So thank you, panel. So now it's your turn, all right? You just heard actually 6 very talented Sussex Countyans talking about their organization. You know, and you could tell there's fire there. They talk about from the private sector, the public sector, the not-for-profit sector, from government. I mean, this is who we are. And so your job was to listen and to see and find out if you, and to kind of put it together. Did you hear any common themes? Do you have any questions to ask any of the panelists? So we've got about 15 minutes for that right now. So it's your turn.
Fire them up.
Chris. Hold for the mic. Can you get a mic? Very good.
Curious, I'm in the sales business of architecture and engineering, and it has become quite a, in many ways, it's a commodity. It's been commoditized, and it's tough to be a differentiator. And you know, when you're looking to build a house or a building or design something, you know, you can kind of go in the phone book and kind of pick and choose, and maybe it's the guy who's close to you. In your businesses, how do you differentiate yourself from, you know, Pat, how do you differentiate yourself from all the other realtors that are out there? You know, Charlie, how do you differentiate yourself from all the other auto dealers out there?
You first.
Okay, Charlie looked at me and said, you first. I think one of the things when I meet with a client, I want them to be confident that I know my county, I know the area, I can help them meet their needs. I'm not selling them anything other than a service, very much like you are. Letting them know that I have good references, that I stay current. And that's a full-time job right there in of itself, is staying on top of all the regulations, working with a company that will help me meet their needs as well. And, you know, I know the company that you work with have referred many people to you. And so that's the type of thing. I've seen successes that they've had in satisfying the needs of other clients. And, you know, that's exactly what our school districts look for. And then we get asked questions as realtors when people are looking at moving into a specific area. They want to know about the school district, so I have to have information for that. They want to know why it's so great to live in Sussex County. And I tell them how hard county council works, not to provide so many services that they can't afford to provide when times get tough. So as an individual, I just think it is being solid in your knowledge, in the company that you represent in meeting their needs?
I would agree with that. You know, I really think dealing with somebody of extreme competence is very important. You know, making sure they know the product. But really, how we differentiate, I would say, is that we're very strict on our process. We really make sure that the customer, when he enters our store, actually, you know, the big word we use is welcome. And if you don't use welcome, we counsel with you after the customer leaves. I mean, we use word tracks that are proven and, you know, proven to put the customer at ease. But we really go through a selling process with them so that they feel valued as a customer. And another thing, and I think they like that, another thing we really work hard on in the car business, there's a lot of turnover. And that's a lot of times why you deal with people who may not know a lot about the product or don't seem very knowledgeable because they started 3 days ago. We really work hard on hiring the right person and having them stay with our company. We have a lot of 30-year employees, some 40-year employees, a lot of 20s. We're an old business. We've been around forever. But, you know, as well as caring about the customer, we really care about our employees. We just care, and I think it just shows. I think what people in the end, they want to deal with somebody who knows the product, who can answer the questions, who can educate them. But they really want to know, does this guy really care about me? Or does this lady care about me? And you know, are they trying to get in my check in my pocketbook, or they really want to make sure I'm getting the right car that fits my needs at a good price? And at the end of the day, I feel that our business is that way. Now, look, we make money. We're not a 501c. We're not going to, you know, we certainly have to make money in order to stay around, which somebody mentioned earlier. But the big difference, and really when you deal with me, I give my cell phone number out. You buy a car from me, I send you a card with my cell phone number on it. It very rarely gets called. But I care about you. You've spent your money with me. People aren't, you know, cars are $40,000, $50,000 now. We sell Mercedes-Benz that, you know, are higher than that. So if you got a problem with our company, I'm right here and I'm easily accessible. So is our management team. I send our cell phone numbers out to our management team also. But as I mentioned, our mission statement is to care about people. And really, if you don't work for us. And in the end, I think that really is the difference between why people do business with people or not.
Anybody else up there? Good? Very good. Questions? And what I would ask is say your name and your organization. Somebody in the, Bob, how about wait and we'll get somebody back here with Brenda. There you go. And then we'll do Senator Bob.
Okay.
Don't do that to me.
Okay, my name is Tina Downs, and I'm an instructor here at Delaware Tech. And I'm very proud to be part of Sussex County, and I think it's extremely exciting, all the growth that we have in development, and how everyone's working together as a team to sell Sussex County. My concern is there's two issues I think we have here, and I'm wondering, are we working as a team to maybe form a task force to solve these issues? One is our traffic. As we all know, you have to plan if you're a local when to go out because of the traffic. It can take you an hour to get from 5 Points down to Bethany. So are we working together, the businesses, the politicians? Are we working with DelDOT to maybe have a task force and find how we can improve getting people from point A to point B? And we have many people here who have been all over the country to see, can we replicate what they're doing in some other areas? So that's my one point, is the traffic. The other is the education system. Are we working together, the traditional school districts, are we working with the technical school districts and the charter to ensure that all are very successful so that we can get professionals down here to show them that we do have a really strong education system with choices for everyone?
I'll be happy to address your question with regards to education. Choice. You mentioned public school, you mentioned charter, and you mentioned our tech schools. Let me say that last year, legislation passed, a bill and called the Enrollment Choice Program that allows for parents the opportunity to choice to another school if they are in fact dissatisfied with their current or school of residence. The bill has streamlined many of the concerns that were addressed by legislation last year in the General Assembly. So there is a plan in place. I think we're gaining a better understanding of working with charter schools. I don't think it's any great secret that we have some struggles when we talk about our local public schools and our Sussex Tech School District. However, as I mentioned, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that we work with them on a very close basis to iron out the concerns, not only as school chiefs, but also as representatives for our school district and also representatives of our local communities. So I would like to say that we are continually in collaboration. Not always as fast as parents or citizens would like, but I'm sure you would agree with me that nothing rushed is gained.
As the sole representative of government up here,
You're on,
and
Todd.
to attempt to answer a transportation question regarding DelDOT, how much time do we have here? I think, just in general, I think from the county's perspective and looking at our state elected officials here and the county representatives here, I think we do a great job of collaborating here in Sussex County on issues that, one, we have the ability to address, which is key, because if we can't address them, then we have very, very limited effect on the issue. And two, just being able to answer the questions that come our way. And if it's a county issue, we will certainly try to address it. If it's a state issue, I know our elected officials do the best they can to address it. As elected or appointed officials, we do not have all the answers all the time. And just to answer the question about collaboration and task force and teamwork, I think we do work well together. I think we are getting better. And I think that we've taken steps with the county to engage our state folks and DelDOT to try to address some of the concerns that all of us are aware of when it relates to our transportation system. There's no magic wand, and there's no endless stream of funding. So I'll probably stop at that. And you asked about task force. There is, to my knowledge, no county-wide task force at this point, but there have been task force that have been created, like the Route 1 Safety Task Force that was created just last year and this year.
Senator. Mine's not a question, but it's a comment. And even though I enjoyed each one of the presentations, I don't think in all the years that I've been associated with meetings like this and in the Senate that there's anybody that ever spoke on education that brought tears to my eyes. He was so compassionate about education, and maybe it's because I got 4 kids in his school, or grandkids, not kids, grandkids.
I would hope not, Bob.
I know there's going to be a comment period later, right then, but I thought that while I was so touched by what you said, that I needed to recognize that nowhere of it.
I have a question with regards to costs coming towards Sussex County. And again, I have to concur. Excellent presentation all the way, and being from the downstate powerhouse known as Woodbridge. My name is Greg Mervine with Fun Fit Vibe. My specific concern is the cost coming at us with all the people moving in and that type of thing, with Delaware and the Gallup poll being the 3rd most obese state and the #1 least exercise state. And again, with regards to task force and what we can do together, I mean, hearing the presentations today, I want to buy another boxer dog and take it to Savannah Hospital because I know it's going to get great care. That was a great sales presentation, but you know, a lot of people spend more money privately on their pet than they do privately on themselves. And my question is, what are we going to do with the healthcare costs coming out at us being the most obese, 3rd most obese state and the #1 least exercise state?
Are we talking health care for pets? Okay, so now we're going to go past lunch and we'll run through the afternoon.
Go to dinner.
I don't know that I can address the question from the county's perspective. Yeah, that's, literally $1 million question. So I'd hate to pontificate in front of my 2 bosses. So I'm going to Pass. Do you want to talk?
All right, so here we go. I think we've got time for one more question, all right, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I think the panel's done a great job in talking about how sales is important. And most people in a direct sales job receive incentive compensation in some measure, which I know is not available in all the fields. But I'd be interested in hearing how you use incentive compensation to reward the sales team, but not go against the mission of what, I mean, maybe I'll start with Mr. Burton, because I've got to believe your incentives are a big part of what you do. And I think we need all to figure out a way to use incentives to motivate our people, but not put them at a degree where it goes against the mission of the company. Charlie?
We are a commission-based organization, and we pay a % of the gross to our salespeople. But to be honest with you, in today's market, there's a lot of education in cars. You guys can all pull up invoices up on the internet, and a lot of people do. They access them. So a lot of the real process that we're looking for today, or we're really looking for, you have to sell the car. It's not a quick transaction. A lot of people think, oh, they're educated. Let's just get right down to the peak, because a lot of people know what they're going to buy. They come in, they've done their research, they know exactly what they're going to buy, and it's just a matter of how we can work out the price. And they know what the cost is. So that's why we're so process-driven, is to make sure that they go through the sale. And then when you get down to negotiations, it's how much am I worth? Because I know all the numbers are on the table. And if you spend 5 minutes with a customer and you don't really know them by their first name, and you know, there's just nothing there for me to pay you money for. So that's again, we try and build value through our company. We have a lot to sell, being a 100-year-old business, and really just go through the process, go a good demonstration ride, build rapport with the customer, and then it really comes down to, okay, this is our cost, this is our MSRP. What's a fair number for you? It's not, you know, the sales is not. There's not huge. A lot of people think you make a lot of money when you sell a car. You really don't. And a lot of, you know, the markup is 3 to 5%, 7% in some regards. And a lot of our plans are volume based. But a lot of what we're looking for is the behavior. Again, I keep saying the process. You got to do every step of the sale. We gauge the time our salespeople actually spend time with the customer. So when a customer walks in, if the salesman's asking for us to work numbers within 15 minutes of the customer arrival, we just say, you haven't spent enough time, you got to go back out and talk to them more. We really look for 45 minutes to an hour. But it is getting slimmer, and a lot of it's volume-based. The manufacturers nowadays really want a market share, and they're pumping it out. We're very driven by the manufacturer. You know, there's free oil changes now that they give away. It's tough. I mean, it's getting to be a tougher and tougher business to run, because the margins get smaller and smaller. But people will pay for value. People will pay for value. And what we really work hard on is presenting that value. And one last plug I must say on the gentleman in the back. I must say kudos to whoever came up with the bike trail in Rehoboth. You know, that's trimming me down a little bit. And I think the governor had a big part of that. But, you know, I just love that. You go through the dunes, and it's a great workout. And if you guys haven't tried that, you really ought to give it a try. You can go to Lewis, Rehoboth by the beach on a nice boardwalk-type trail. So with that, I'll move that to Pat, who I know you're anxious to talk about, your commission structure.
Pat, if you don't have anything to say, Andy would jump in here for a little bit.
Okay. So at our hospital, the doctors are paid on the percentage of gross that they make, but the employees are paid on a straight hourly basis. But we do have an incentive program in place so that they're able to see how the income is going at the hospital. And twice a year, they get evaluated in a positive way, and they get a part of the growth of our hospital twice a year as a bonus check. So that's always very exciting for them, and it also is incentive for them to work at selling those topics that I mentioned through the pillar talks that go on throughout the year, so that they can be a part of raising the gross at the hospital, because they're going to get a piece of it back.
All right, very good. So, and you know, for me to suggest that Pat Campbell-White doesn't have anything to say about selling is fiction. I have to, that is a disclaimer.
All right, I don't want to upset you. I raised 2 daughters who learned to ask the most important question over the last 40 years. Mom, when's your next settlement?
All right. So
That
with
was the oldest daughter I looked at.
Let's give this panel and thank you all a big hand. Thank you.
We'll ask our panelists to exit to the left so that I can get you going on our next part. But I gotta say, they did a phenomenal job, and I think a lot of you feel like I feel. I feel sold on Sussex County and very proud to be part of us. So thank you guys. You did a terrific job. All right, we're coming to our breakout sessions, and I got to tell you that we're living dangerously this year in allowing you to do that. We're trusting you to find the right rooms and be back in here on time. But to ensure that you behave, as I told you, we have a very nice prize, an iPad that you must be in these seats to win at 11:55. So remember that there's those tickets in your padfolios. So when you get back in here, that's the first thing we're going to do. And if you're not seated, we're calling another number. All right? Let me tell you that the iPad 3 was generously donated by Incline, an outstanding web design company based right here in Georgetown for the past 15 years that currently employs 10 Sussex Countyans full-time. Now let me give you the breakout session instructions. You're going to do 2 20-minute breakouts. You can choose 2 from 3 workshops, and it doesn't matter in what order you choose them because they're all going to be repeated twice. So let me tell you what they are and tell you which way you need to exit the room to get there. So Print Media Selling by Dennis Forney is in room 535 AB. That's the hallway behind you all toward the pond. You see that sign at that far end? You need to exit if you're going to see Dennis in that direction, but not yet. All right, Internet Selling by Felicia Ben-Sacken, room 535 CD. Again, the hallway behind you, but it's more toward this end. So see that sign over here? You want to exit toward this middle in the back if you're going to see Felicia first. And then Face-to-Face Selling by Dave Spiker is in room 555 AB, which is the hallway in front of you toward the pond side. There's a sign over here. You will have 10 minutes to switch workshops, and after the last one, you better get back in these seats by 11:55. I'm gonna gong at 11:54. You got it? All right, let's go to our first workshops. It'll start at 10:55, so you got to get there. All right, I'm impressed. You all got back in your seats just like we told you to do. So we'll do our part. I was told I need a bigger gong, so I might have to work on that for next year, trying to get a bigger one. But to pick the winner of our iPad, I call on Rob Nicholson, Incline's Director of Business Development, whose unofficial title is the Mayor of Incline. Rob, come on up.
This is an iPad 3, by the way. We waited. We talked about the idea during the planning meeting to say, hey, let's give away something. We thought about the iPad 2, but we waited to the new announcement. So this is the brand new one. 2, 4, 3, 2, 8. Who's close? There's one number left. 8. That was anticlimactic. All right, I'll repeat it. 243 288. Three, 2, 1. All right. You're still in it.
We're going to go again.
Six, 2, 7, 0, 5. Who's close? 0.
Oh, wait, you got a hand. Repeat it. Repeat it. Wait a minute.
Just to verify, 627 050. All right.
Oh, yay! You want to take it?
Your next website, you have to come to us. That's part of the contractual agreement.
Thanks a million to Incline for providing that carrot to keep us all on time. So here goes the iPad 3. And we are on time. And next on our agenda is our business showcase. In the spirit of this conference, a spirit of hope, that great motivating force that makes us believe that yes, we can. We now bring you a showcase of success stories among us. From them, we can draw inspiration and we can learn to keep shaping the future. We're very proud to present to you 5 Sussex gems as examples of amazing things happening in our county. Today has been about selling. Selling means success in business, and success in business equates to jobs. So here's to sales and jobs in Seaford, Millsboro, Greenwood, Selbyville, and Rehoboth. Would the owners and employees would the owners and employees of Beach Paws, Tailbangers, O.A. Newton, E-Revolution, and the Matt Haley companies please stand? We want to salute you. Now, before introducing our fantastic keynote, I would like to note that we lost a giant among us this August when we lost Matt Haley. There were so many things he had yet to do. But rather than lament what could have been, the way to honor Matt Haley is to get them done. So it makes me very happy to introduce a man of action as our keynote speaker. Over the last 20 years, Scott Kammerer has established himself as a premier developer of restaurant companies and concepts on the East Coast. He has built, developed, and consulted on more than 50 projects that have grossed more than $250 million. He is a founding partner of Haley Kammerer Restaurant Consulting, which has worked with high-profile restaurants throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, including Finn's Fish House, one of the top 30 raw bars in America, and Trogue's Brewery and Tasting Room in Hershey, Pennsylvania, named by the Great American Beer Festival as one of the best mid-sized breweries in America. The Matt Haley companies also include Sodell Concepts, where Scott oversees a 9-restaurant and catering group named by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing companies in America. Among the Sodell restaurants are Blue Coast Seafood Grill, named one of the top 10 destination restaurants in America, and Matt's Fish Camp, which was recently awarded Best Seafood Restaurant by Delaware Today magazine. Scott also firmly believes in giving back. He is an original board member and co-founder of the Global Delaware Fund and winner of the Delaware Today Community Award. He has partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Rehoboth and the Milford Music School, to name a few, at home, in addition to Global Delaware's efforts abroad, which include building an orphanage and 2 schools in Nepal. Please welcome the president of the Matt Haley Companies, Scott Kammerer.
Thank you, Ileana. You've been an inspiration to me, and I appreciate you asking me to speak here today. I decided to wear a coat and not have flip-flops on. It's a big step for me. Trying to up my profile a little bit, I guess. So hi, I'm Scott Kammerer. I'm the president of the Matt Haley Companies. Up until August 19th of this year, I was behind the scenes. I was a man toiling in obscurity, making all the businesses work. On August 19th, my mentor, my friend, my business partner was killed. He died in a high-speed, high-impact motorcycle crash at 18,000 feet. I'll probably die in an escalator accident in New Jersey myself. But he died the way he lived. He lived like a rock star, doing what he loved. Matt was a humanitarian. He was on a mission, an adventure high in the mountains. He was helping people who no one else would help. He was living the life that he deserved. He was riding with filmmakers, with humanitarians, with motorcycle enthusiasts. He died as close to heaven as you can get. He died with talented and creative people around him, trying to make the world a better place. He was a leader of a dynamic company from Sussex County, Delaware, which is what we were most proud of. He burst onto the national scene in 2004. He won the James Beard National Award as well as 2 other awards to be the Culinary Triple Crown. This was something that was never done before. He used his national voice to expand the reach of coastal Delaware and to sell our county, to sell the culinary coast. He was dedicated to leveraging the good and the success of our business for Delaware. Now I'm the CEO of this company. I'm entrusted to guide the legacy, to lead the companies in the future. We have 1,000 employees and $47 million in sales. We have a restaurants, a soda line, worldwide charities, and a group of orphans in Nepal that are relying on me. There was no job interview for this. There was no focus group. There was no search committee. I was always supposed to lead. I was always supposed to be the future. I was always Matt's protege. The restaurants, the companies, the charities, we're all poised for greatness. But there's work to be done. There's mountains to climb. There's a lot of crab cakes to sell to keep everything going. In the beginning, the late 90s, Matt and I were just 2 people in recovery. He was a recovering drug addict. I was a recovering alcoholic. We were living one day at a time. But Matt always had a plan. He had a plan for me. He had a plan for himself. I vowed to help him build something that would last. Believe in yourself, he told me. Live the life that you deserve. Do something great and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Those words will come back to me. We currently have interest in restaurants, real estate, catering, food trucks, films, olive oil companies, vineyards, coffee plantations, and some other things that I'm sure I don't know about yet since he died that he's got going on. I just found out he owns a tea shop in Nepal that's extremely successful. And I said, how successful? They made $14 last year profit, so. I want my $7 from them, by the way. That's all. We've come a long way. Matt Haley started this company with $37 and a dream. Ileana was right. By 2009, Inc. magazine had named us the fastest growing restaurant group in America. Since that day, we've grown sales 400% since that day. While that's an amazing sales story, the real thing is it's an amazing life transformation. That's the real story. When Matt was 35 years old, he was taking a bus to work, making minimum wage. For all those proponents of the minimum wage, Matt Haley is a tremendous exhibit. He was an ex-con, a junkie, a dreamer, a poet, a chef. He was a visionary and a leader. He was as low as you could get. As the story goes, he had 1 red shoe and 1 blue shoe when he was on the bus to his first job interview. He said the Salvation Army didn't have 2 size 13s that match, and that's a true story. Today we have a collaboration of 7 companies overseeing 24 businesses. Our most recognizable concept is Sodell Concepts. We have Blue Coast, which Dr. Smith mentioned. We have Fish On in Lewis. We have Northeast Seafood Kitchen. We have Matt's Fish Camp in Bethany. We have Catch 54. We have Papa Grande's in 2 locations. We have Plate Catering, which did 600 events last year. We have a fleet of trucks. And when I mean a fleet, we have 4, but there's only 300 and some odd days, and so how many do you need? So anyway, we have Big Thunder Mobile Kitchen. I've yet to figure out what the heck I'm doing with that thing. I don't have all the answers. Matt was working on a food truck in Puerto Rico for minimum wage when he won the James Beard Award. His dream was to have a food truck that was successful. I'm going to make it happen. It's on the list. Don't worry about it. High Weather Management is another one of our companies. We manage sports parks, soccer fields, breweries, ferries. We competed against Aramark and Sodexo, 2 of the biggest food companies in the world. We beat them for 2 contracts, by the way. I'm just saying, if anyone's from Aramark out there, I'm just saying, don't make me a target. They know where Sussex County is now, for sure. Haley Kammerer, we provide strategic planning for restaurant startups. It's one of my most enjoyable ventures. People have a dream, they want to be successful. We have the technical skill. Anybody out there who wants to start a restaurant, my suggestion is don't do it. If you're going to do it, I have a contract for you that we can work something out. Global Delaware is our foundation. We provide support for those in need in Delaware, Nepal, Nicaragua, India. We'll go wherever is needed. One of the most amazing things about Global Delaware, Matt gave money to an orphanage in Nepal. They assumed he wrote a check. They would never see this crazy guy with white hair again. He showed up in Nepal, picked out the colors on the wall, picked out the landscaping, and would not take no for an answer. He made sure every single one of those dollars was spent on the kids, and that's one of the things I'm most proud about him. And that's one of the things, when it comes to Global Delaware, that I will follow through. I will go wherever the money goes to make sure it's spent properly. We also have Matt's Homemade Soda. We're in 4 states. We're selling in 25 restaurants right now. We have apple ginger with a twist of lime. It's one of my favorite fall drinks. We have a new flavor coming out for Christmas. We have blood orange, sage, and vanilla. So we'll see how that comes out. I don't know. I'll have to drink a few of those just to make sure. We have Sodell Films. We finance and film documentaries to promote Delaware talent. Interview 7 p.m., which just premiered. We were on the cover of the News Journal. I saw someone from the News Journal here. Thank you very much. We were on the cover of 55 Hours for that film. We partner with W Films, Rob Werther, so that's been really a successful thing. But things weren't always so rosy. When I met Matt, he had been fired from his first job out of jail. I was a college dropout. I was washing dishes. We were not what you would consider a dream team at the time. But we've become an American success story, a Sussex County success story. We manage our business on 3 principles. We believe in the people, we believe in the product, and we believe in doing good for Delaware and giving back to the world. Fish On's a real good case study of sales and how we attacked the problem. During the recession, Fish On was hard hit. It was a great restaurant. It was just too big. So we decided, instead of packing up and going home when our lease was up, we decided to really think, if we were as smart as we were supposed to be, we needed to fix the sales problem. So we added a catering company to it. We had an event room. We hired new management. We paid them more. We incentivized them. We built a happy hour crowd. So instead of backing away and giving up on Sussex County, we doubled down. And a lot of the people at the time thought we should have walked away from what was too big of a restaurant, but now it's one of the most successful restaurants in our group. What I'm most proud of is we chose not to participate in that recession, and we learned a lot. We learned to sell the brand. We learned to be entrepreneurs, to differentiate yourself, to do good for others, and don't be selfish. Those are the core values of our company. Good is the enemy of great. Don't put off something till tomorrow what you could do today. Huge lesson for us. On the day I woke up and my partner was gone, I was crushed. I was terrified. I did not want to get out of bed in the morning. I needed to sell myself again. I needed to sell myself to the employees. I needed to sell myself to the bank. I needed to sell myself to the vendors. I needed to sell myself to the charities so that they believed in me and that this company wasn't just going to end. Guys like Alan Levin called me and came and talked to me. He said, when my father died, I felt the same way. Michelle Freeman, Patty Grimes, the people of Delaware, they reached out to me. Governor Markell called me and came and sat with me and talked to me. Senator Coons, some of the things I'm most proud about in Delaware, these people didn't turn their back on me, and I'll never turn my back on them. It all came back to me that morning, but I realized the only person I had to sell was myself. I had built 50 restaurants. I had consulted on over $250 million in sales. I woke up that day and I knew there were these families relying on me, there were these charities, there were these people, and I was the guy that had to make it happen. The only person I had to convince was myself, and I would deliver. The biggest thing I learned from Matt Haley: live the life you deserve, believe in yourself, build something great, and don't be afraid to sell. God bless Sussex County, and God bless Delaware. Thank you very much. They said I had 20 minutes, and I did it in 10, so that's good. Yeah, I'll take questions. If anyone has any questions for me, I'd love to talk about it, and I have recipes too, in case anybody wants to talk about them. We're doing a cooking demo next week, so.
Speak about the Meals on Wheels thing.
Oh. Yeah, so Meals on Wheels. So right before Matt left for India, he calls me up. He says, "Do you know what Meals on Wheels is?" And I said, "Yeah, but I'm not quite eligible for it yet, so it's not me." He was getting close. So Meals on Wheels was with Harbor Healthcare for a long time. Harbor Healthcare no longer wanted to do it. So they came and asked us. I definitely wanted to do it. I didn't find out till later. Everybody said no but me. I didn't know I was the only one. So anyway, we have a CIA-trained chef, Jen Blakeman, who runs our high-end catering company. She mostly does weddings on the beach, really beautiful stuff. So we put her in charge of the Meals on Wheels. So at the Fish On right now, we invested, we built a new cooking line, and we cook 300 meals a day for homebound seniors. And it's what I'm most proud of, to be honest with you. What's funny about that is I didn't know they were going to pay us for it, to be honest with you. I honestly thought we were going to volunteer and do it. It was a shock to me when they said, "We're going to pay you to do this." So that was, yeah, it's Meals on Wheels is definitely something. I was actually the coordinator at the first beach brunch at the Atlantic Sands in the early 90s, so that was something I was proud of too. So, yeah, thanks for asking about that. What about my cooking demonstrations? I haven't decided what I'm going to do next. I think we're going to do a holiday one at Matt's Fish Camp. We're going to do a whole fish and some oyster stuffing, so that's going to be nice. We have an unbelievable chef there, Casey Cunningham, who's a talented guy. He went to the CIA. He's got an urban garden and a smoker, so he's the kind of guy that could teach me how to cook. It's funny, when you work with so many talented we have 10 guys that have cooked at the James Beard House. We have so many talented chefs. I want to get them out in the world. I don't want them stuck in the restaurants. I want people to meet them. And they're the stars. I mean, they're really the stars of what we're doing. So the next cooking demo, November 9th, Matt's Fish Camp. And then on November 1st, we're doing the Day of the Dead dinner at Papa Grande's in Fenwick. So that's going to be cool. So, yep.
Scott, I just want to say congratulations, and you look fabulous. I asked Chris earlier, is Scott here? Because I'm always looking for the...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I've been working out with Chris Antonio, by the way. That's why I'm trying to get as good looking as Matt Haley.
Thank you. I have a question. So thank you for sharing the past, the present, and the future. There has to have been a time during this, the loss of Matt, that you had to have thought about the things that you dealt with in your past, you know, the alcoholism.
Yeah.
How did you, and I know that some people came forth and were great support, Alan and others came forth to support you, but there were quiet times, times that nobody was around. Talk to those who are still dealing with some tragedies, or still, we have businesses, we have, you know, events and things that we plan and we do all the time. How can we stay focused knowing that there is something that we can revert back to, but we don't want to?
Yeah, it's funny because I think that my alcoholism and my recovery plays such a big part in my life, the good and the bad. And I feel like I'm living on borrowed time, and that you know, I was worthless and helpless at a time, and Matt believed in me before I could believe in myself. So the biggest thing for me was he was my biggest supporter, more so than I was myself. And he believed in me at a time when no one should have. He took a chance on me. It worked out for him. He made a lot of money from it. And but I often think, like, how did he know? Like, I was a dishwasher, and, you know, how did he know that I could be this successful? And I just think he had a gift. And we have a lot of people in our company that are really talented that you would have never thought it, and I wouldn't have picked them, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have picked a lot of those people. So my biggest thing that's been hard for me is how do we go forward in the future without a guiding force like that? And I think, you know, I think that I spend enough time with Matt. You know, I tell the story that when he was packing for India, he was packing a duffel bag, 3 pairs of jeans, 3 shirts, and $50,000 in cash, and that's what he packed to go to India. And he was going to buy cook stoves for villages in India and Nepal, and that's what he was going there for. He was also going there to ride motorcycles in the mountains, but, you know, that was just a part of it. So I hope I answered that question. Did I go roundabout? Do I sound like a lawyer now?
No,
I don't know.
basically-
No offense if there's any lawyers here.
Basically, it's just basically how you're staying focused.
Yeah, well, I guess I answered that question not very well, huh?
A roundabout way. Thank you, Scott. Other questions?
People with ADD tend to be very successful in the restaurant business.
Question?
Now, this is strictly about the restaurant business.
Sure.
It seems like the Delaware, Sussex County, this area, has got a pretty progressive Delaware scene, in no small part due to
Yes.
Matt and yours inspiration. What sort of trends do you see developing now? People eating habits changing, preferences changing? What do you feel like you have to respond to be successful in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I always feel like we could not have done what we did anywhere else. Sussex County is a special place. I feel like the people were willing to take a chance. They would eat in restaurants that they normally wouldn't eat in. I think the vacation travelers helped a lot because you have to eat out 5, 6, 7 nights. I really feel like the trend recently was farm to table. I really feel like it's going to be garden, it's going to be urban gardens, and it's going to be restaurant guys and chefs growing their own food and use it in dishes. And I like that idea because I grew up with a garden. My first job was picking blueberries. I mostly ate them. I picked some. So anyway, so I really feel like having the chefs I really did eat a lot of blueberries, by the way. I really feel like having the chefs and having the managers have a connection, grow the food, be a part of the earth, be a part of the world, be able to see the whole full cycle. I think you get so tied up when you're in the restaurant business, just being on that line, just cooking the food and doing what you need to do. You forget that we're sustaining people. You know, the greatest thing about the restaurant business is when people are sad, they come to you. When they're happy, they come to you. You get to experience so many different parts of their lives. When you get engaged, you come to the restaurant. When one of your family member dies, you come to the restaurant. So we have a big responsibility, and we have to show up, and we got to deliver. So I feel like anytime you can inspire a chef, inspire a manager to treat food with the respect that it deserves, I think that's what the new trend is, Dennis. So, and I might have to blog about that or Facebook it later now that you're bringing it up. So I just wanted to say that I feel like the Cape Gazette's a huge part of what makes this community special. So I wanted to say that to you. Unless you see it in the Cape Gazette, it didn't really happen. In Sussex County, it didn't happen. Except for what Fredman says, he made that all up. So, any other questions? Can I give any other plugs while I'm up here to anybody?
and Matt was one of our panelists, and we asked them to share their secrets of success. And without a doubt, Matt impressed upon his audience that the secret of his success started with you, and then it was the team that the two of you all put together. And that's where the credit, he said, there's nothing else to talk about. It was, but you all as a team, the two of you all put together a formula of how to inspire that team. And he was so proud of that. And I just wanted to recognize that, you know, the Matt Haley companies wouldn't be what it is without you and the team that you all put together.
Yeah, thank you very much. That means a lot to me. And I always felt like Matt was a force of nature. And I think about my relationship with him. When my brother died, Matt was, when I say he was there for me, he was there for me. You know, he picked me up, took me to meetings. I was pretty much not much help to him for a while there, and he believed in me, and he believed in all these employees. He had an unbelievable knack for picking talent. That might go back to his criminal past, I don't know. But he had an unbelievable, maybe to pick out undercover cops, I don't know. But he had an unbelievable talent, and he really did. And he's definitely, fortunately, he talks so much, we have enough information to be able to go forward with what he gave us. So, so that's great for me to hear you say that. It really is. It really is. So, thank you. Yeah. The red light's going. Does that mean anything?
Are there any other questions for Scott? No? Scott, I gotta say.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Well,
oh, a hug.
I get a hug.
I'm coming next year if I get a hug. That's all I have.
I gotta say to you that, you know, one of the smartest things that Matt Haley ever did was pick you. He definitely, thank you for demonstrating to all of us that the future of the Matt Haley companies is in great hands. We're very proud of you.
Thank you, Ileana.
Very, very proud.
Thank you very much.
What a great day we've had. What do you think? You know, this is all about learning from each other and about really seeing the talent that we have in our great county. As I said before, I leave more proud than ever to be a Sussex Countyan, and I think that feeling is shared by a lot of you. So let me just end by telling you that your feedback really does matter to us. And you got to promise that you're going to fill out the email that you're going to get with a survey. It's going to go to you today, and we want you to evaluate this conference, and we want you to tell us what we should do next year as that lens through which we look at our wonderful county. So we really will pay attention, and we value that. So in return for that promise to do that, you're going to get lunch, and you can either take it with you, because I know that you know your time's very valuable, or you're welcome to come back here and network, and I won't gong you anymore. You can take as long as you need. But I did want to mention that the participant list, which is typically in your packet, was so big that we decided to put it on the website. So it is on the website, and you can have the contact information for each other. Because like we said in the beginning, when you leave here, it's up to each and every one of you. The future of our great county is in our hands, and we all need to act and do it together, because we can do it together and achieve so much more. So thank you for being here. We'll see you again next October.